Islanders hockey. Brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By today's Chevrolet, who invites you to live the style, performance, and fun of Chevrolet in '86. By the people of Eastern Airlines. They earn their wings every day. By Manufacturers Hanover, the financial source worldwide. By new Mobil Super Unleaded, the high-octane gasoline with a plus. By Canon USA. So advanced, Canon is the world's leader in 35mm photography.
Live from the Spectrum in Philadelphia, Sports Channel presents New York Islanders hockey. Tonight, it's the Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers. Hi again, everyone. I'm Jiggs McDonald with Westfall. As these two teams meet for only the third time this season, Philadelphia comes into the game 21 points ahead of the New York Islanders in the Patrick Division standings. Philadelphia tied with Edmonton atop the National Hockey League, regarded as, again, this season, the team to beat. Surprised?
Not really. They have an excellent hockey team, and of course, with all of the concern about the loss of Pelle Lindbergh, they seem to have not missed a step. They've continued on as strong, if not stronger, in a lot of ways. That they're a definite threat to win the Stanley Cup. Of course, the Islanders are now measuring up against them. We've seen the thing change over the last couple of years. And the Islanders have a lot of work ahead of them. Of course, they've got the game tonight against Philadelphia, and then they have to go on against Montreal tomorrow night. They've got Pittsburgh to worry about now, and of course the New York Rangers. They're both 2 points behind the Islanders, so the Islanders have to start to win some hockey games. They've got to start to maybe create a little breathing room. First of all, they get the two teams behind them off their tail, and then they'll worry about Washington, who are the next team in front of them.
Well, the goaltending chores for the Islanders tonight will go to Bill Smith, and he has not won a game, nor his team, here at the Spectrum since 1980, the first game of the Stanley Cup final. I think it's something like 13 games, 11-2, and of course the team overall has not won a game here in their last 6 visits. But it should be interesting. I think the Islanders are up. They had a team meeting yesterday amongst themselves, and all indications are that they know what has to be done for the balance of the season if they're to be a contender.
No, the history of the Islanders has always been that they get up for the big games. They've always been a team that love to grind it out in big hockey games when their back's up against it. Their back's up against it now, so it'll be a good hockey game. I'm looking for one anyway.
Well, we'll be ready for the opening face-off between the Islanders and the Flyers after we pause for these messages. The two teams have just come out on the ice here tonight. A little piece of unfinished business to take care of first of all.
Is it true I have to do this twice because I missed it the other night?
In stereo.
All right, well, just turn up the volume. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Islanders, and it's intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Islanders and Sports Channel is prohibited. Announcers on this telecast are selected by Sports Channel and approved by the New York Islanders.
You're having a look at Bill Smith. Has not played for the last 3 games. The Islanders off a 6-3 setback at Pittsburgh on Wednesday night. There is some other National Hockey League news as of late this afternoon. A second team has made a coaching change. The Buffalo Sabres have fired Jim Schoenfeld. Scotty Bowman moves back behind the Sabres bench. Buffalo, after 43 games, had a record of 19 wins, 19 losses, and 5 ties. They were tied for 4th place in the Adams division, 4 points behind the Boston Bruins, and Jim Schoenfeld fired this afternoon. Some trade news, too. Hartford and Quebec making a deal, I understand. 18?
Yes, the Babbage brothers are now together in Hartford. And Greg Malone was traded from Hartford to the Quebec Nordique. Greg Malone, a player that has a lot of talent, hasn't exhibited much of it in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
Was not dressed for either game between Hartford and the Islanders earlier this season. Now the crowd rising, the teams lined up at their blue lines. Here's the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, we're so gallant.
Mr. Mark Rose with his rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. The officials for tonight's game, Mr. Brian Lewis, working game number 1001 in his NHL career. That's Ryan Bozak, one of the two linesmen. Kevin Collins is the other. And the goaltenders, Bill Smith with a record of 9 wins, 7 losses, 3 ties, and 3.83 goals against average. Lifetime 8 wins, 21 losses, 6 ties, and a 3.24 against Philadelphia. Bob Crows goes to work tonight with a 2.50 goals against average, 3 shutouts on the year. You saw the record of 16 wins, 7 losses, and no ties for the 27-year-old goaltender. The Islanders send Brian Trottier to center ice. Greg Gilbert on left wing, Mike Bossy on the right. Thomas Johnson back in the lineup tonight is out on the right side of the defense, and that's Randy Boyd on the left, dumping the puck into the Flyers zone. And a collision with the goaltender, Mark Howe, running into Crows as he went back to clear the puck. Mike Bossy got a stick on it, then lost it, but Crimmon comes over center ice, shot it in off Randy Boyd. Johnson stepped in front of Derek Smith, and the puck ends up over in left wing. Greg Gilbert hammered it off the boards to Brian Trottier. Bossy trying to move into position, couldn't get around Howe in time. That's Crows handling the puck back in the Flyers zone to Derek Smith. He's checked. Brian Trottier in after it now. Put it out in front. Bossy couldn't get it teed up. Kerr over on the left side. Failed to clear it out of his own zone. Bossy and Howe tie up back of the net. The puck comes around behind the goal to Trottier. His centering attempt is deflected. Brought down the left side by Dave Poland. Poland into the Islanders zone. Johnson ties him up, and Boyd comes over to take the puck. There'll be a penalty as Johnson did not uncouple in time. He and Poland went to the deck together, and Brian Lewis sends Johnson to the box.
There's the signal, a holding penalty from behind the net. Poulin pulled down from behind by Thomas Johnson, draws a penalty in the first shift of the hockey game. So the third best power play. They've scored the most power play goals so far this season. Philadelphia Flyers, 63 goals they've scored. They're third in the league.
And Tim Kerr, who had been out there in the first shift, naturally is out there. He's had 25 power play goals in 44 games. He's 3 shy of tying the NHL record for most power play goals in a season. Sinisalo fed it to Kerr, trying to put it out in front. It deflected right to Potvin, out of Brent Sutter. Cross to John Tonelli, gets away from a check at center ice, over the Flyer line. Crossman stepped in front of him. Tonelli controls it again. Went to dump it through the defense, but couldn't. Sinisalo is checked at center ice. Here's Brent Sutter. Sutter's pass comes out over the Philadelphia line, picking it up as Prop. Prop and Kerr trying to move up. Then Prop's pass is intercepted by Potvin. Dumps it in at the Flyer line, but Brent Sutter had stepped ahead of him, nullifying the rush. Philadelphia with 7 power play goals on 11 opportunities against the Islanders. And there's who's not dressed for the New York Islander team tonight.
Bobby Bourne. Gerald Bourne is a scratch. Diddick was sent back to Springfield. Rest of the Islander scratches. Ken Morrow having a shoulder problem. Bobby Nystrom, of course, we're hoping he's recovering his eye has been operated on. Harry Hancock.
Quite detailed information in USA Today. Today's edition on the surgery that was performed on Bob Nystrom's eye and the retina damage. The Islanders killing off a penalty to Johnson. If you've just joined us, there's a minute remaining in it. There is no scores. Crossman left the puck in his own zone. Eklund, the power play specialist, gave it to Sinisalo on the left side. Patrick Flatley trying to take it off the stick, and Sinisalo did, but couldn't clear it away from Eklund. As Sinisalo down, has the puck underneath him. 46 seconds left in the Islander penalty. As Islanders, Stefan Persson.
Islanders are doing what they have to do to curtail a good power play, and that's to put a lot of pressure on early, and then, of course, work very hard in your own end of the ice. Stefan Persson throwing some weight around. You have a power play facing the board, puck in their feet. You've got to play the body, try and tie up the puck. The fact that the Philadelphia Flyer player fell on the puck, the faceoff comes outside the blue line.
Brian Trottier has come out to take this faceoff against Kerr, and Trottier pulled it back into his own zone where Potvin fires it off the glass. Neither team with a shot on goal through the first almost 2 minutes now this opening period. Mark Howe brings it into center ice. Got it around the boards. Bill Smith lets it come to the wing. Sinisalo had it knocked away by Gilbert. It's picked up, held in by Prop. it to the right side. Howe's shot blocked in front as Kerr was parked to the doorstep. Now Propp with a drive. He scores! Brian Propp rifling one from the blue line. The power play works for Philadelphia.
First shot on goal by Philadelphia. First shot in the power play. First shot in the hockey game. Turns out to be a winner. Here's the shot from the point as it comes by Greg Gilbert, perfectly placed just inside the goal post. Bill Smith looks at Dennis Potvin. There's an earlier play broken up in front. Gilbert did not clear it. There's the shot by Brian Propp. It's in the net, 1-0. A power play goal by Brian Propp.
That's his 30th of the season. 8 of them, now 9 on the power play. So the Islanders trail early in this hockey game. LaFontaine plays it around the right wing for Mark Hamway. Hamway dumped it into center ice. Wayne Sutter couldn't get to it in time, and the Flyers forced the Islanders to chase it. Smith comes out of the net, played it to the left side. Philadelphia held it in, but then banked one off the stick of Mark Hamway. Long shot from Pullen, turned aside by Smith. Rick Tocchet works it back in the net. Johnson gets it up the left wing boards. Off Wayne Sutter. Now Randy Boyd takes it back in the net. Wayne Sutter brings it out of the pileup. A delayed penalty call in effect against Philadelphia as Johnson sends Hamway in on the right wing. Back to Johnson. Johnson's shot ticked the post to the right of Bob Froese. And as Poland gathers in the puck at center ice, we have the penalty call against Philadelphia. Break in the action, 16:37 to play in the first period. The Flyers lead the Islanders.
The penalty, a charging penalty as he knocks Randy Boyd down from behind, in behind Bill Smith in the Islander goal.
Flyers have the best penalty-killing team in the league, killing off 84% of the penalties against them. Here's Makula to Brent Sutter. Froze the stick save. Sutter drops it back to Persson. It was knocked away from him and comes out across the line. Sutter back has given it to Denny Potvin. Potvin shoots it in from center ice. Makula comes in after it here on the right wing. Mikko Makula takes a look. Brent Sutter pretty well covered. Fed it to Potvin instead. Let it go. Stick save by Froze. There's Canelli over in the right wing corner. Back to Potvin. Eddie Potvin shot off the stick. Makula tried to get it right back to him, but it's intercepted by Poland. Now to Propp. Propp into the Islanders zone on left wing. Shot one up high. Smith made the save and cleared it off for Potvin. Around to Persson. Makula feeds it into center ice for John Tonelli. Left side to Brent Sutter. Freeman lines him up on the boards. Brian Propp dug the puck loose, but it went right to Potvin. Across to Persson. He shoots. That's deflected high and wide of the net. John Tonelli takes it out of the far corner. Played it back in the net to Brent Sutter. To Tonelli to the point for Potvin. Lets the shot go, and it was blocked. Picked off by Bossy. Mike Bossy with a drive. Off a stick in front, and Dave Poulin springs Propp. 46 seconds left in the Islander power play, and they'll start from deep in their own zone. Here's Persson. Couldn't get over center ice. A bouncing puck controlled now by Bossy to Persson. On to Paul Boudelier. Up the left wing for Greg Gilbert. Works on Crossman, and then elected to shoot it around the boards. Bossy with it here on right wing. Gives it to Trottier. Trottier draws a combination of Marsh and Crossman, and Bossy picks up the puck. Comes out in front, centered off a stick and just wide. Greg Gilbert takes it to the corner. Gilbert lost it, and Ilka Sinisalo clears it the length of the ice. 12 seconds remaining in the power play. Flyers lead it 1-0 on a power play goal of their own. Brian Propp scoring at 2:39. Trottier into center ice. Got it to Boudelier. Comes in on the left wing boards as the teams come back to equal strength. Doug Crossman works it around to the right side for Sinisalo. Carries the puck to center. He and Zezel interchange at the Islander line. The play broken up. Tocchet with it. Centered. Boudelier clears it across to Trottier. Out to center ice to Bossy. It was in his skates and ends up in the Flyers zone. Marsh ties up Bossy in his pursuit of the loose puck. And Crossman takes it over on the far side. Gave it to Lindsey Carson. Carson over the Islander line. A trailer pass intercepted by Gord Dineen to Dwayne Sutter. Sutter trying to set LaFontaine up on the right wing. Couldn't find him. Here's Tim Kerr sending Carson into the Islander zone. Carson with a shot. Smith the save. Carson from back of the net gets turned around, and Denny Potvin will get the gate for holding. 13:54 remaining in the first period. A break in the action. Flyers won.
The holding penalty. Lindsey Carson got a shot away. Smith makes the save, and Carson in pursuit of the puck. Potvin in pursuit of Carson spun him around, gets a holding penalty.
And here is the Bowden Flyer power play, but they couldn't get set up. The Islanders force them back into their own end of the ice. Roger Kortko, Patrick Flatley, Thomas Johnson, and Randy Boyd out on the ice for the Islanders. Back Eklund carries the puck into center, gave it to Kerr, who dumps it into the Islander zone. Johnson fires it around the boards. Up on the glass, it hits Sinisalo. Kortko arrives on the scene. The puck comes loose for Boyd. Randy Boyd couldn't clear it out. Brian Kropp, the big slap shot, missed the target. It's up the right wing and is cleared up across the line by Flatley. This is Kropp. He has the only goal of the game. Worked it to the right side. Sinisalo to Eklund, who's over the line with Kerr. Eklund is checked. Now a shot from Crossman is grabbed and held long enough by Bill Smith to force a face-off.
Good mobility on the power play of Philadelphia, but the penalty killing of the Islanders that time. Good job by Roger Kortko. Tries to force Philadelphia to make a mistake before they get to the Islanders' end of the ice. Here's the shot. Bill Smith getting a good look at it. Catches it. Tried to unload it. Couldn't. Too many Philadelphia Flyers around him.
Brent Sutter against Kerr on the face-off. Sutter has played it behind the Islander net. Boudelier and Sinisalo in pursuit of it. A little shoving going on. Brent Sutter knocks it loose. Picks it up. Lays it around to the right wing boards and out into center ice. So back goes Crossman. 57 seconds remaining in Potvin holding penalty. Crossman waits. Sutter moved in. Now moves out for the Islanders. Crossman played it to the right side. Into center ice comes Eklund. Shot one. Just missed the net. Came bouncing out in front and picked up by Boudelier. Well, Boudelier checked by Eklund. Eklund put it out in front of the net, but off Pearson's stick and recovered by Tonelli. He and Brent Sutter move up 2-on-1. Sutter takes the pass, turns, and a shot is blocked by Crossman. The puck bounces to center ice. Pearson with it to Boyd. Back to Pearson. Back from Pearson over to Randy Boyd. Takes it off the boards. Trying to move in around McCrimmon. The pass to Tonelli, and the shot is a great save by Bob Froese. Out come the Flyers. Poulin leads the rush. Into the Islander zone, working on Boyd. Drop pass to Kerr. Shoots Smith the save. Poulin trying to center the rebound. It gets away from Crossman, or McCrimmon rather, and that will kill off the penalty time against any Pot fan. McCrimmon carrying the puck down the left wing is shot it around the boards. Potvin takes his man. The puck comes back to Poulin. Lets a long shot go. Stick save by Smith. Reaches up to grab it as it came back off the glass. 11:42 remaining in this opening period at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. A break in the action with the Flyers leading the Islanders. Now Bob Froese came up with a big save just after the penalty to Potvin had expired. Philadelphia did get 2 shots on goal with the manpower in their favor. This is Bossy handling the puck. A long pass to Greg Gilbert. Gilbert across the Flyer line on left wing. Fired one that just missed on the glove side. Bossy moved in, but not in time to pick up the puck. And it's been dumped down the ice. Flyer has been shaken up back in his own zone. Dave Richter getting up slowly after a collision with Greg Gilbert.
Left leg seems to be the problem. What appeared to be a harmless play. Richter went down on the ice, got up favoring his left leg. He has very little use of it at this time. Didn't appear to be getting hit with anything. Then obviously he's fallen and twisted it somehow. That does not look good. See a player going off after not being hit. If they get hit with a puck, that's one thing. I'll tell you, he's not going to get hit with a puck, or she, whatever it is.
You know that person?
Should I admit it if I did?
Well, I just saw the trainer wave toward the doctor, and the next shot I saw was that face. I don't think that is the Flyer orthopedic man. The injured player, Richter, has been helped to the dressing room. The message that you're seeing on your screen has to do with the fans here being urged to send get well cards to Kate Smith, the lady who was so instrumental and so humbly accepted the roses from Ed Westfall here before a Stanley Cup playoff game.
One of the senders of cards will be Ed Westfall.
All right.
Well, sure will.
Folks at Hallmark will be pleased to receive your bucks. Had the stick knocked out of his hands back in the Flyer zone, and that's the reason the crowd was a little concerned. Bossy brings the puck over the line with a drive. Good stop again by Froese. Ryan Trottier held it in. It's loose in the corner. Bossy couldn't pick it up as McCrimmon got there to knock it away. So the Flyers up 1-0. Try to come out of their own zone. The play broken up. This is Pearson with it. Oh, Boudelier comes to the Flyer line. Make the shot, trying to get in around Crossman. Carries it behind the net. Boudelier drops it off, intended for Hamway. Larson played it up the boards instead to Kerr, and LaFontaine met him immediately. The puck comes loose for Doug Crossman. He is checked. Larson couldn't get to it in time. Hamway has fed it to LaFontaine, and Marsh reaches over to knock it away from Hamway. Stephen Persson got it to the Flyer line. They ruled that Wayne Sutter knocked it down inside the Philadelphia blue line, so that's an offside play.
It's important now that the penalty seemed to have subsided, that the Islanders try and pick up some offensive action. Take the play to Philadelphia. They do not want to fall behind by a couple of goals here. There's the get well Kate message.
I guess we weren't getting that.
Oh, that was on another channel? Our monitor here had it flashed up at the address to send a get well card to Kate Smith. But apparently we're tuned in on the home team channel.
And while we are the visitors, we will be seeing a lot of the Flyers in the next couple of weeks here on SportsChannel as they come to the Nassau Coliseum on Tuesday night and again the following Thursday, January 30th. LaFontaine back to Boyd. His shot blocked in front. Wayne Sutter had a poke at it and froze. Equal to the test, then Wayne couldn't find it on the second chance. This is Tim Kerr. Fires it wide of Smith. It comes off the board. Smith plays it up to Dwayne Sutter. Center ice, he plays it rink wide for Mark Hamway. Steps over the line, got it away from Howe. Centered, LaFontaine shot is blocked by Froze. Crimmon plays it high, over the glass and on into the seat.
The Islanders are getting the opportunities now. Two of them here in the last shift. Let's take a look as the Islanders catch the Philadelphia Flyers out of position. That's McCrimmon, number 10, allowing Pat LaFontaine to get a good shot away. Bob Froze has come up with 3 good saves here in the last 2 shifts. Pat LaFontaine trying to find an opening, unable to do so. Bob Froze.
With a lifetime record, 6 wins, 3 losses, no ties against the Islanders, has shut them out twice in regular season play. Roger Kortko centering for Patrick Flatley and Clark Gillies. For Dineen and Denny Potvin, the Islander defense. John Knockbauer taking the face-off for Philadelphia is in addition to their lineup tonight. Both Craven and Ron Sutter out of this game with back problems. Flatley chasing the puck into the Flyer zone. Centered one in front, but Gillies too well covered by Knockbauer. Coming down the left side is Rich Sutter. Gets it into the Islander territory. Denny Potvin bumped off the play. Knockbauer moves in. Potvin took care of him. And Kortko fires it rink wide for Flatley. Patrick Flatley trying to get it across to Gillies. Put it into his skates. Gillies' pass to Kortko was broken up. Now the puck ends up behind the Philadelphia net. Marsh goes after it. Draws a couple of blue-shirted Islanders. Kortko unable to center it cleanly. He and Knockbauer battled for it. Roger Kortko picks it up. Turns to get away from Knockbauer. Gave it to Patrick Flatley to the point for Dineen. His shot went wide on the glove side of Bob Froze. Flatley moves over and the puck is tipped off Brown and up into the seats. The referee Brian Lewis has a penalty on the play as well. So there's a break in the action with the score. The Flyers won.
26, a holding penalty. So the Islanders now get another power play opportunity. Philadelphia have had 2. Now the Islanders are starting their second.
Brent Sutter, Mike Bossy, and John Tonelli. Boudelier and Persson at the points. That's Persson with a shot that was blocked by Howe. And Pop plays it across for Dave Pullen. Pullen at center ice, dumps it in. Chasing it is Persson. In the 2 previous games, the Islanders had a pair of power play goals and 8 opportunities. Well, the Philadelphia Flyers had scored 7 rather, on 11 opportunities. Flyers pick it up and clear it around the boards. Persson couldn't hold it in. It rolls and curls its way right to Bill Smith. Smith leaves it for Persson, turned away from Prop, who had come in to forecheck. Persson up the left wing boards for Brent Sutter. Shoots it in from center ice. Chasing it here on the right side is Bossy. It got away from Howe. John Tonelli is there. Brent Sutter over to pick it up now. Back to Janssen. Into Tonelli. Back to Janssen. Janssen finds some ice, shoots. Rose made the save, and Prop is there to clear it just outside the line. Janssen gives it to Paul Boudelier. Boudelier to the far side. Brent Sutter being tied up by McCrimmon. You talk about holding. Oh, well. Puck cleared out to center ice, and Potvin has it. Denny Potvin trying to get it to Janssen. Zezel picked it up. Peter Zezel turning here in the face-off circle is ridden into the boards, and Trache comes away with the puck. The pass across to Bossy on his off wing. They takes a look. Take the shot, held the puck, gave it to Trottier. His shot is kicked out by Froze. Potvin with the rebound, and that drive was blocked. It gets away from Gilbert, comes back to Potvin. Into Greg Gilbert. Back to Potvin. Potvin takes a look, gave it to Janssen. Across intended for Gilbert, who picks it up now, feeds Potvin at the point. Into Greg Gilbert. Out in front to Bossy. Back to Potvin. Potvin waits, lets it go, he scores! Potvin through a screen has tied it on a power play.
Identical goals make the score 1-1. Both power play goals. Dennis Potvin, this time from the left point position. The Islanders are setting up the puck. Here Bossy has it, decides to give it back to Potvin. He held it, then decided when everybody was lined up right, there's the shot to a lot of legs. Brad Marsh, the last defenseman in front of Bob Froze. Here's the passing. Bossy back to Potvin, and watch in front. There's Brian Trottier as he sets up the screen. Here comes the shot through the legs of Brad Marsh. Actually, it changed direction, but it's in the net, and it's a tie score at 1 apiece. Potvin on a power play.
Denny Potvin's 11th goal of the season, 5 of them via the power play, and he is now just 1 goal shy of equaling Bobby Orr's all-time total, the most ever by a defenseman in the NHL. See the message, 11th goal of this season. Assists go to Bossy and Greg Gilbert.
Important goal when you think about it. The Islanders, as I had mentioned, do not want to get behind 2-0 here in Philadelphia. They have not won here since 1983. I think it was November in 1983, the last time they won a game here at the Spectrum, 4-2. And of course, as you had mentioned at the beginning of the hockey game, Bill Smith hasn't won here since 1980.
This is the 82nd lifetime meeting of the two teams, and they are at 500. Each team has won 34 games, and 13 have ended tied. Ryan Trottier following the face-off, trying to clear the puck in the Flyers zone, and got broken up. Carson dumps it into center ice. Greg Gilbert drops it back to Randy Boyd. Comes over center, flips it over the head of Brad Marsh. Marsh and Zezel looked at one another. Neither one went after it very quickly, but they managed to get back in time, and here's Carson at center ice. He had it stolen by Makela. Nico Makela trying to get around Crossman, turns, made the play in front. It bounced away from Froze. Gilbert was in the goal mouth with him. In the meantime, Trottier out to Gilbert. It's blocked. Comes loose. Makela feeds the point for Dineen. His shot through a screen is deflected. Picked up in the corner by Makela. Nico is checked, and Ilka Sinisalo dumps it to center ice for Philadelphia. Or Dineen back in time to get it up to Trottier, who's dumped it in. Rose leaves it back of the Flyer net for Doug Crossman as the teams change on the fly. Crossman to Marsh. Out into center ice, away from Derek Smith, and right to Dwayne Sutter. Fed LaFontaine on left wing. At LaFontaine centers one off a skate at the side of the net. Cleared around the boards by Crossman. Here's Pearson with it into LaFontaine. LaFontaine sets up Dwayne Sutter for a backhander that was off the goaltender's stick and taken by Kerr. Out into center ice comes Smith. Smith into the Islander zone, and Bill Smith in the Islander net has cleared it across to Boudelier. He and Derek Smith tie up immediately. Dwayne Sutter knocked it loose. It goes to Mark Hamway. Dumps it off the boards and out across the Islander line. So Philadelphia setting up at center ice. Tim Kerr shoots it right back in again. Chasing it is the veteran Stefan Persson. He's cleared it to center ice. It bounced, and Howe able to recover in time to give it to McCrimmon. Up to Kerr. Kerr across the line with Knockbauer. Skate saved by Bill Smith off Kerr's shot. Knockbauer got knocked down, and there's going to be a penalty on the play against the Islanders. We have 4 minutes and 53 seconds left in the first period. A break in the action with the score tied.
Take the penalty. Interference. Philadelphia get their third power play opportunity here in the first period. The Islanders do not want to take a lot of foolish penalties against the power play that operates so well.
Well, Eklund has given it to Prop, centered it in front, but Denny Potvin is there and has cleared it down the ice. Fontaine went off at 15:07. The Islanders having outshot Philadelphia at that point, 9-8. The score tied 1-1 here at the Spectrum. Crossman fed Eklund. He comes over center ice. That Persson right at the Islander line, and Flatley got back to clear the puck. Crossman over to Prop. Drop pass. Nobody able to handle it, and Potvin dumps it once more. Going back is Doug Crossman. 40 seconds gone, and the Islander power penalty, I should say. Philadelphia pick it up again. Crossman feeds Eklund on right wing. Eklund in deep, went to center, one in front, and Kerr got a shot away, but just wide. Eklund works from back of the net. Moving over to check him was Johnson. Ryan Propp gives it back of the net to Kerr. Jim Kerr unable to center as Boyd is right there with him. The strength of Kerr pulling Boyd away from the puck, but Brent Sutter comes up with it. Sutter clears it to center with 50 seconds remaining in the Flyer man advantage. That's Tonelli going into forecheck for the Islanders. Howe held it in the corner. Now Brent Sutter comes in. Howe seemed to have a little trouble with it, then dumped it back in the net. John Tonelli after it now.
The thing the Islanders should do, and they don't do enough of, is to put pressure on a power play in their own end of the ice. Stir them up, force them to make mistakes. That's what this penalty-killing unit of the Islanders is doing, and they're successful at it. They're killing most of the penalty in the Flyers' end.
They've chewed up about 30 seconds of it right now. And Tonelli still had it, then just got away from him. He works on Propp this time, but it went to Eklund, on to Sinisalo, and he comes over center ice. Has Kerr moving up on the left side. Sinisalo couldn't find Kerr. Gave it to Eklund, now to Kerr, and his shot went wide of the net. McCrimmon with it at the left point. Brad McCrimmon got it to the corner. Eklund put it out in front. That was cleared by Boyd. Howe managed to get a shot away that Smith got a piece of. It bounces out in front. Teams are at 6 aside again, and Brent Sutter slaps it off the boards at center ice. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in this first period. McCrimmon shooting it into the Islanders' zone. The Flyers did not have a shot at Bill Smith with the man advantage. Ryan Trottier sends Gilbert over center ice. On to Bossy here on right wing. Bossy slipped it through to Trottier. His backhander throws, got in front of that, and here's McCrimmon starting out. It slipped off his stick. He recovers at center ice. Plays it to the left side to Knockbauer. Knockbauer fired one in a sharp angle. Ends up back of the goal. It's underneath Captain Denny Potvin, and there's no further play. So with 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first period, a break in the action at the Spectrum, and your score, the Islanders...
So much what Philadelphia did not do on the power play. It's what the Islanders penalty killers did do this time. Good job. They killed better than a minute in Philadelphia's end of the ice, and when they were down in the Islanders' end, they never had good control of the puck.
So important against any team, but especially this Flyer club that thrives on the power play.
Well, even a weak power play is going to look good if you allow them just to come out of their own end at will and come into your end and set up and start moving the puck around. It doesn't take a great deal of talent to be able to control the puck in the offensive zone.
Flyers taking a lot of time setting up in the face-off. They've got Brown out with Knockbauer and Rich Sutter. The Islanders get control of the puck. It's Trottier feeding Bossy at center ice. Trying to hand it back to Trottier. Ends up in the Flyer zone. Crossman with it. Knockbauer failed to clear it out of his own territory. Gilbert dumps it in deeper. Trottier trying to center from back of the net. Spotted Bossy. Gave him the puck. Bossy turns. Works it back to the blue line to Boudelier. Lets the shot go, and it stayed wide. Boudelier picks it up again. Leads Trottier back of the goal. Out in front, there's Bossy with a shot that went wide. Comes off the boards right to Brad Marsh, and he leads the Philadelphia Flyers into center ice. Shot it high. Goes bouncing off the glass and up into the seats.
One thing that the Islanders are doing right now in this first period that's getting them out of their own end rather easily is they're using the center iceman. You know that Philadelphia love to send their defensemen down the boards to cut off the wingers. So the Islanders, using the center iceman, have found a way to come out of the end. One quick pass and away they go. Another thing that can happen there is if the defenseman gets caught pinching down on a pass to the center iceman, they can get 2-on-1 breaks. We saw one earlier in the hockey game.
Now the Flyers regrouping at their own blue line. McCrimmon shot it off the board. Sinisalo handed it right to Thomas Johnson, who's back in the lineup tonight. Now to LaFontaine. Johnson had been nursing a thigh injury for the past 3 games, I believe it is. There's a delayed penalty call in effect against Philadelphia. Called now. LaFontaine had been knocked down back in his own end of the ice. And Lindsey Carson is going to the box with 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining in this first period.
To make coaches mad at hockey players is the kind of penalties that Lindsey Carson just took and Pat LaFontaine took a little while ago. Tripping penalty in the offensive zone. Let's take a look. Right here, you see at the top right corner of your screen, Pat LaFontaine goes to the ice. Lindsey Carson goes to the penalty box. Albeit the penalty to Pat LaFontaine was in the defensive zone. When he took the penalty, the player he took the interference penalty on was not involved in the play so much, and he was off to the side on the boards. not a good penalty, and Lindsey Carson, of course, is what the Islanders want to take advantage of here with 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining in the first period. They'd love to go into the dressing room with a 1-goal lead.
Sutter has been asked to leave the face-off area. John Chinelli steps in. Chinelli got the puck to Makela, back to Potvin, lets one go off the stick and blocked in front of the Flyer net. The Islanders get it back to the right point. This is Johnson with it to Makela. Over to Denny Potvin, fires one, stick save, and it comes right back into the skates of goaltender Bob Froese. The Islanders with a couple of quick shots. Getting control of it in the Philadelphia end of the ice. Let's take a look.
Here the Islanders moving it around pretty good. Makela to Potvin. Watch the goaltender here. He's got room. He gets a look at it, makes the save. Now he can't get down to put his hands on it too quickly. Brent Sutter trying to poke it in. Makela kicks it in. Says, I wanted to get the feeling of what the puck looks like going across the goal line on the power play. Kick it across. Doesn't matter. It's not going to count anyway.
The whistle already blown, and of course the referee had a good look at it. Chinelli, Makela, and Brent Sutter up front. On defense, it is Johnson and Potvin, and the Islanders have to chase the puck. 20 seconds gone, and the penalty to Carson. 40-some seconds remaining in the opening period. Johnson played it out to center off Makela's stick. Picked off by Mark Howe. Shot it off the boards, picks it up himself, and comes over the Islander line with a pass to Prop. His backhander is blocked by Potvin. Potvin checked back of the net. Johnson picks up the puck. Moves it up the left side at center ice. Brent Sutter tried to spring Makela loose. The play was broken up. Here's Pullen into the Islander zone on right wing. Potvin knocked it off his stick. Gives the puck to Brent Sutter. Now to
In contrast, Jiggs, you can see now as the people watch here, you can see Philadelphia. They're forcing the Islanders. Every time an Islander touches the puck, there's somebody there to force them to make the pass in a hurry.
This is Potvin at the Flyer line, and his shot right at the horn went off Pullen and on into the seats. So the Islanders will continue with the power play when the second period begins. They fell behind here in the first period and found a way to get one by Bob Froese on the power play before the period ended. And your score after one is the Islanders 1, the Flyers 1. We'll be back with a recap of the first period action. The New York Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers are tied 1-1. Shots on goal in the period by the Islanders 11, by the Flyers 8. Philadelphia took the lead on a power play goal. Brian Propp getting his 30th of the season. Mark Howe draws the only assist at 2:39 with Johnson sitting out a holding penalty at the time. Later in the period, Crossman's holding penalty cost the Flyers as Denny Potvin ties it. Potvin's 11th goal this season. Bossy and Greg Gilbert assisting. The time of the goal is 13:15. We had 6 penalties called in the period, and the 6th one will carry over into the second period as the Islanders will continue with the manpower advantage. I'm Jiggs McDonald with Ed Westfall, again treated to an interesting period of hockey. Not the physical type that the Flyers put up against a lot of other teams in the league, and we've noticed that probably the last year and a half, almost 2 seasons now.
I think out of respect, one reason would be that the Islanders can play that kind of a hockey game if they're called upon. The Flyers dictate what the game is going to be like, really. They're the home team, and they generally, home team, dictates the flow of the game. I thought the Islanders had much the better scoring opportunities. Froese had an outstanding period. Of the 11 shots that the Islanders had on them, I would have to think that 5 of them were pretty good scoring chances that the Islanders created for themselves. So they've got the Philadelphia Flyers a little vulnerable in some of the spots, and the Islanders can take advantage of that if they can continue to do that. Again, the power play, something we saw a lot of in the period. Some pretty good penalty killing by both teams.
Let me ask you about Froese. I think 3 or 4 of the good saves that he made were on the stick side and appeared to be low. Is there a scouting report that says something about that?
Well, we haven't seen him a great deal, but there's no question he's good with his feet. Islanders shooting low, that's a good observation. A lot of goaltenders we see the Islanders shooting high on. Obviously, at this point, they're shooting low, but Froese moving both feet on both sides, not just the stick side. He's been able to kick off some pretty good saves, but he is quick, and then the Islanders get the opportunities in the second period that they got in the first. I think that they'll start to make some inroads.
No report yet from the Philadelphia dressing room. Dave Richter, the big defenseman that they acquired from Minnesota in a trade earlier this season, limped off the ice after a collision with Greg Gilbert. And I go back to the play of the period. The Islanders a little slow starting, but then they seemed to take control of the game midway through the first period.
Well, you could say it that way, or you could look at it from another aspect. The fact that the Philadelphia Flyers, and we remember the Montreal Canadiens as a team that starts very quickly in their own building in particular, and Philadelphia does the same thing. So the Islanders really got a jump on them, and if they did that a little later on, it was because Philadelphia did come out, and right at the first shift, they started to try and put the pressure on.
And power plays, the factor in that opening period, each team with a power play goal. It's 1-1 after 20 minutes. We'll return to the Spectrum right after these messages.
Here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, 1-1 tie, the Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock, the Islanders wrap up their road trip in Montreal when they battle the Montreal Canadiens. And at 11:45, the Nets are back at the Meadowlands to take on the Denver Nuggets. A doubleheader of great sports coming your way Saturday, only on SportsChannel.
Coca-Cola's skate, stick, and shoot competition gets underway next week. A competition for girls and boys between the ages of 7 and 17. And each entrant may compete at one of the following 3 rinks on Long Island for the preliminary round. Freeport Recreation Center on Wednesday and Thursday. That's January 22nd and 23rd. Superior Ice Rink in Kings Park on February 5th and 6th. And the Cadillac Park Arena on February 19th and 20th. You may register at the Freeport Arena or any of the arenas that I mentioned, but this coming week at the Freeport Arena, the evening of the competition, Wednesday or Thursday, you can register prior to the competition, but you must have a parent with you in order to register. Everybody will win a prize, so kids, pick one of the 3 rinks, the one near you, and skate your way to the semis and the finals at the Nassau Coliseum. It'll be held in March and April. When the Islanders return to the Nassau Coliseum next week, the first team they'll face will be these Philadelphia Flyers, and the Flyers will be back at the Coliseum then the following Thursday. The Islanders have 2 more trips to Philadelphia remaining on their schedule. Thursday, February 13th in this building, and again on Tuesday, April 1st. Recently, Brian Trottier, in association with the Islander News, inscribed 33 playing cards of himself with drug prevention tips for youngsters. Stan Fischler paid a visit to a unique outing in Port Washington where Brian, some of his fellow teammates, and the Islander News folks spread the message against drugs.
The Islanders are a caring hockey team. They care about winning. They care about each other. And they also care about the Long Island community. They went out to John J. Daly Elementary School to deliver a very important message. Let's go inside and hear it.
We, the Islanders, are concerned with the amount of drug and alcohol abuse going on today, and we want to get involved in making you, the kids, aware of the negativeness that drug and alcohol can do to your bodies. I think if we can get the kids aware of the bad side of drugs, there is no good side. It's illegal. You never become anybody once you become involved in drugs. And anytime I can get myself or any of my teammates or friends or anybody involved with this kind of a drive, it's exciting.
It's really important not to take drugs. You could really get hurt and you could die from that.
I think it was very good, and they really expressed out how drugs can hurt people.
I guess the message that we're all trying to get across is just to say no to drugs. That's the main thing. But in today's society now, it seems to be somebody or to be a part of a group, to fit in, it seems like there's a lot of peer pressure on kids. And I guess to be yourself and to say no and just stick up for what you think is right, that's the main thing. And I guess there's a lot of groups to hang out to be somebody, but be yourself and stay away from that stuff, and you'll go far.
I got the feeling watching you dealing with them that deep down you were feeling pretty good about just being here.
Oh yeah, if you can help out, do anything you can, little part to help out in drugs. You know, I was fortunate when I was raised. I had a goal, and that was to become a hockey player, and I stayed away from all that stuff. Anything that could hurt you from becoming what I wanted to be, I stayed away from. And nowadays, it seems like it's more the thing to do. And if kids can realize that, it's no good for their bodies, and it does nothing but harm, then they'll stay away from it, hopefully. And if I can do my part and help out like the other Islanders here, I'd be glad to do my part and help out.
It's very important at a young age not to let drugs and alcohol enter your life, because it can really mess you up as you get older, and we think that it's very important to get to them at younger ages, because that's where it all begins.
The Islanders' visit to the John Daly School gave the kids a chance to look at the stars, but equally valuable was the important message that the Stars gave to the kids. It's something they'll remember for a long time.
At the Philadelphia Spectrum in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's 1-1 Islanders and Flyers. Sports Channel goes the distance to bring you exciting boxing ringside from the Atlantis in Atlantic City and the Houston Sheridan. Plus, you get hard-hitting Kronk boxing from Detroit. Check local listings for dates and times in your area. Boxing on Sports Channel. What a knockout. Let's take a look now at the Sports Channel out-of-town scoreboard. Shows that the trade between Hartford and Quebec today, favoring Hartford at this time. They lead in the first period 4-2 over the Quebec Nordique at home. Montreal is ahead of Buffalo 2-1 in the second. Washington Capitals trail the New Jersey Devils in the second period 1-0. Chicago plays at Winnipeg, and Los Angeles Kings and the Vancouver Canucks also start later out on the West Coast in Vancouver.
Let me ask you something, Mr. Westfall. If you were a National Hockey League coach, your team was at 500 through the first 43 games under your tutelage, how would you feel if a man who was your superior came down and said, "You're fired"?
Are you talking about Scotty Bowman and Jim Schoenfeld?
That's exactly who I'm talking about.
Did I tell you my good news, bad news joke about that?
No.
I made this up today.
Uh-oh.
We're
in trouble, folks.
The good news, bad news joke is Scotty Bowman talking to Jim Schoenfeld. He says, "I've got good news and bad news." I'll give you the good news first. The good news is that the $5,000 fine you have for throwing a water bottle at the referee, you don't have to pay. The bad news is you're fired. And that's exactly what happened to Jim Schoenfeld today, and that's what you were talking about. And if I was the coach, which I would never be, because of things like that, first thing I'd probably do is punch Scotty Bowman and then go home.
Mr. Schoenfeld is quoted as saying he wished he'd had a brick rather than a water bottle when he threw it at the referee. We'll be back at the Spectrum in a moment.
We're between the first and second period. What are you going to be doing at 11 o'clock tonight, Jiggs?
Probably trying to find an aircraft going to Montreal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
You?
I'll be driving back to Long Island.
Oh, okay.
Do you know that more action comes your way tonight at 11 o'clock? 11 o'clock, when the Nets go all out against the Washington Bullets. The Nets and the Bullets tonight at 11 o'clock on Sports Channel, #1 in New York sports. Nets doing a pretty good job. What other news do we have? We have the trade. We've got the firing of Jim Schoenfeld.
Yeah, the fact that 7 Islanders and 6 Flyers finished amongst the top vote getters in the annual All-Star get-together. This is the first year that the fans got to vote for the All-Star players. Yeah, 7 Islanders and 6 Flyers.
7 New York Islanders voted to the All-Star game?
No, I said finished amongst the top vote getters.
Oh.
Not on the team, but amongst the top vote getters.
All right.
Get a chance to tell you about that. The team's getting ready for the second period, and we'll be back. Advantage. Philadelphia having just dumped the puck into the Islanders' zone. Persson and Potvin on the points. Dwayne Sutter, Ryan Trottier, and Mike Bossy up front. Persson has given the puck to Bossy, trying to come in on left wing. McCrimmon holds him up, and Froze was down to make the save off Bossy's one-handed shot. Now the Flyers slap it out of there, just barely missing linesman Kevin Collins. Stephen Persson back at the Islander net. 13 seconds left in the power play. Gave the puck to Trottier. That's broken up and cleared by Howe at the Flyer defense. So the Islanders unable to do any business with their third power play opportunity of the game. The score tied 1-1. Wayne Sutter to Trottier to Bossy on right wing. Mike Bossy fires it in around the boards. It gets away from Bob Froze. Ryan Propp dumps it out into center ice. It went off Sezel right to Bossy. Left side to Tonelli. Tonelli couldn't get in around Propp, however. Sezel takes Propp's pass, is pulled down by Makela, and there will be an Islander penalty on the play. Mikko Makela is going to get the gate. Once the Islanders get control of the puck, or the Flyers do something strange with it. Sezel plays it around to Crossman. You see their net is empty. They've got the extra man out there. And now give up control of the puck, and we'll take a man advantage situation. A break in the action. 18 minutes, 36 seconds left in the second.
The Islanders get Mikko Makela a hooking penalty. 1 minute and 24 seconds into the second period. You know, when you look at the Islander penalties, holding, interference, and hooking. Sometimes there's something in the way they get penalties, too.
Things designed to slow up the other team. Johnson clearing the puck into center ice. Back at the Flyer blue line. Erickson has shot it into the Islanders zone. It's picked up by Randy Boyd. Couldn't clear it out across the line. Eklund, having knocked it down, went in after it. Got tied up with Roger Kortko. Kortko takes it off the boards. Takes the turn. Shoots it off the boards at center. The Flyers have to chase it. 36 seconds gone in the penalty against McAloy. He was sentenced for hooking at the 1:24 mark. This is Eklund carrying the puck. Works on Potvin, tries to cut inside, played it into the corner, intended for Sinisalo. Eklund had it again, lost it, and Potvin has threaded the needle, so Philadelphia forced back into their own zone with exactly a minute remaining in McAloy's penalty. This is Erickson. Ginelli moved into forecheck. Ginelli forces Crossman back a little deeper. Crossman to Erickson. Up comes Brent Sutter, and the pass for Erickson is a bad one. Sinisalo recovers in time, gave it to Erickson. And again, they use up a little time. Now they come over center ice. Sinisalo into the Islanders zone. 3 Islanders move over on him. The puck goes loose. Eklund back to McCrimmon. Shoots one from the point that deflected wide. Here's Howe putting it out in front of the net. It comes back to McCrimmon. A drive blocked by Potvin. Sinisalo and Potvin tie up one another. Then he comes up with the puck. Couldn't clear it out. It's in Sinisalo's skates. Come back to McCrimmon. Moves in and his pass tipped by Persson. 17 seconds to go on the power play. There's Kerr handling it. Gets checked by Persson. And Stefan Persson falling. Moves it out to center ice for Tonelli. Comes in on McCrimmon and his shot is blocked by the Flyer defenseman. Brad McCrimmon gave it to Prop. Moving up left wing. Persson stepped in front of him. The puck goes loose. McAloy is back on. There's a shot from Howe. Grabbed by Smith and he'll hold it for a face-off.
Fine penalty killing again by the Islanders. Dennis Potvin and Stefan Persson teaming up well on the defense. Doing a good job in their own end of the ice. While up front, the Islander forward penalty killers helping out. Some more good pressure.
Back-to-back power plays for Philadelphia with no shots. They have not had a shot on goal since around the 15-minute mark of the first period.
Makes Bill Smith's job much easier. With players like Kerr standing around out in front of the net trying to snipe. No one has more goals or power play goals than Tim Kerr.
Now Howe unleashes one from the blue line that missed the net. Pat LaFontaine has dumped it into center ice. McCrimmon got the stick up on Dwayne Sutter. McCrimmon playing the puck back to Howe. Shot it down into the Islanders zone. There'll be no icing call. Randy Boyd clears it off the boards. The Flyers intercepted, and then Johnson intercepts in turn. Johnson moved up the right side across the Flyer line. Hamway stayed on side. Johnson gets the puck to Mark Hamway to Dwayne Sutter to LaFontaine. Couldn't get control of it. Now Hamway's forechecking has knocked it into the corner. It goes loose back of the net. LaFontaine into the goal mouth. The puck stays wide. Dwayne Sutter moved back of the net. It's knocked away from him. Picked up by Howe. Right side to Tocchet. Tocchet at center ice. Fires it in on target. Just narrowly missing the target. And it's cleared back of the goal. Tocchet moves after it. Centered it out in front. Pullen chases it. Turns. Shoots. That's tipped wide. Off the stick of Carson. Carson and Boyd wrestle. The puck comes out in front of the Islander goal and controlled by Johnson. Right side to Mark Hamway. Hamway works on Marsh as he gets into the Flyer zone. Hamway centering attempt, but Boudelier, or Johnson rather, had turned away from the play. Boudelier backs in. Sinisalo with a shot. Bill Smith got enough of that to make the save. Thomas Johnson dumps it out into center ice. Brad Marsh chases it. They really could have played it, so icing has been waved on. Marsh from behind the net now with just over 15 minutes to play in the second period. The Flyers come to center. Sinisalo's pass, intended for Derek Smith, was broken up. This is Greg Gilbert. Marsh tight on him. The puck goes loose for Persson. Back to Gilbert. Gilbert to Persson. He's into center ice. Then it to Bossy, who cuts to left wing. Mike Bossy at the top of the face-off circle. Went to center one, gets slowed up. Now gives it to Persson. Stefan with a drive, and that was deflected just wide of the net. Sinisalo here on the right wing boards. Dumps it into center, but right to Boudelier. To Persson and back to Boudelier. Boudelier clears it across the blue line to Tonelli, to Trottier. This Bossy, who is trying to cut into the center ice area, and Marsh has it for Philadelphia. Brad Marsh using the left wing board. Zezel had it stolen by Bossy. Gets over the line with Tonelli. Bossy dragged down by Marsh. Tonelli picks up the puck. He gets knocked off balance. Recovers, but lost it again, and the Flyers have cleared it down into the Islander zone. Going back for it is Potvin. Dave Brown comes into forecheck. Potvin trying to get away from him. Ran into a check from Knockbauer, but Makela has picked up the puck. Nico Makela over the flyer line. Comes in on left wing, and the shot is blocked by Froze. Brent Sutter centered the rebound wide. Here's Dineen with it on the board. Scored Dineen, dumps it in deeper, but Howe is there. Spotted Rich Sutter moving up the wing. He couldn't get a stick on it, and as Potvin takes over in his own end of the ice, the Flyers are called for having iced the puck. 13 minutes, 44 seconds to play in the second period. A break in the action in Philadelphia.
One-time Hartford Whaler, playing in his second game this season for the Philadelphia Flyers. His first game and only game was back in December. I think it was early December he played against the Rangers.
Is he not the property of Edmonton at one time as well?
One of those quick, didn't play but belonged to.
This is Patrick Flatley leading the Islanders into the Flyer zone. Kortko dumped it in front, but Howe was there. Mark Howe up the middle of the ice. Plays it to right wing. Dave Brown is taken off the puck by Boyd's check. Rich Sutter into forecheck. He and Boyd go back of the net. Sutter trying to put it out in front. Slipped away from a check. Then Kortko was tight on top of him. Kortko turns Sutter back behind the net. Fans think there's some holding going on. The referee disagrees. Big struggle for the puck, and Rich Sutter gets upended by Boyd. Puck in the pileup, and the play is called. 17,000 people would have blown the whistle earlier, I gather.
Well, I guess they would have had an opportunity depending on what side you're on. Look at the hard work. Some good work by Rich Sutter as he tries to get away from the tenacious checking of Roger Kortko. Finally, the puck gets out in front of the net. Randy Boyd gets into the act, falling down, sliding out like a goaltender, and the puck hidden from the view of the referee gets blown dead. I'll tell you, that's what tires out hockey players, particularly ones that haven't played much in the hockey game, as Rich Sutter hasn't.
Rich Sutter with 9 goals, 14 assists coming into tonight's game. Twin. Brother Ron not in the Flyer lineup tonight. This is Stefan Persson moving over the Philadelphia line. Holds it here on the left wing boards. Lost his balance and control of the puck. LaFontaine trying to dump it in deeper. This is Dwayne Sutter out in front to Hamway, and Froze came out to challenge, and a backhander off LaFontaine's stick was steered wide. At LaFontaine trying to hold it in. Marsh chasing it with Hamway. Mark Hamway takes it away from the Flyer defenseman. Centered it out in front. There is nobody there in time, and this is Crossman. Doug Crossman right side to Propp. Forces the Islanders to chase it. Smith leaves it back to the net to Persson, up to Hamway. Eklund into forecheck. Tocchet had it, lost it. Hamway loses it. Eklund in front. The puck gets right between the skates of Tocchet. And Hamway brings it to center with a pass to LaFontaine, then to Dwayne Sutter. Sutter to Hamway. Off his stick. It's picked up in front by Tocchet. To Eklund. Eklund comes to center ice. Shoots it into the Islanders zone. Chasing it is Potvin. It bounced away from him. Comes right through in front and blocked. Gordy Dineen works it off the boards. Pullen holds it in and then shot it into the corner. Mark Hamway comes it out into center ice. Pullen actually shanked it. Couldn't laugh at the play, but
You see what he did immediately, though? He looked at his stick.
Yeah, well, you got to blame.
It reminded me of the fella trying to kick the football during one of the playoff games.
Oh, yeah, the Giant Bears game, huh? Vendetta had a little problem with the wind. 11:25, the puck frozen in the corner long enough for a face-off. The score tied in their zone. Trottier winning the draw, and Potvin plays it up the left wing and out into center ice. Trottier, Bossy, and Gilbert, the Islander forwards. Potvin and Dineen on defense. Dave Pullen back into his own zone. The defense brings it to center, and Howe dumps it in. Going in after it is Carson. He knocked it away from Trottier, but Dineen recovers. Up the wing to Bossy, gets knocked down, and the puck ends up in the Flyer territory. This is McCrimmon. The big line for Philadelphia. Pullen, Carson, and Kerr out there right now, but their play broken up at center ice. Trottier got it to Gilbert, to Bossy on his off wing. Like Bossy centers, Potvin too well covered. Now Potvin recovers in time to dump it back of the net. McCrimmon falling, worked it around the boards, and there's Carson. Bossy moved over, and the puck has been cleared out to center. And he popped that at the center ice stripe, gave it to Gilbert, who's dumped it in just wide of Bob Froze. Mark Howe plays it around the boards, and that's going to go all the way down into the Islander zone. Thomas Johnson, who has just come out, chases it. They get a whistle for icing with a little more than 10 minutes to play in the second period.
Islanders still containing and having their share of of the play. Offensively, see Mark Howe shooting the puck around the boards. He's deliberately icing the puck, trying to get off the ice, get a rest. The Islanders keep the puck down in Philadelphia's end, 15-10. The Islanders out shooting Philadelphia 4 shots to 2. Almost halfway through the second period. There's been a lot of skating, but not many shots have hit the net.
The crowd whistling and cheering here for a message that's on their board concerning one of their players, Zoka Sinisalo. He and his wife, proud parents of a baby boy born yesterday. Thomas Sinisalo checked in at 8 pounds. You're up to date on the social news. The score is tied 1-1. Crossman playing it around the glass in his own zone. Derek Smith moved it up the wing. Zessel drops it back to Smith. Comes over center ice with a pass to Sinisalo. The new father centers one that's steered aside by Bill Smith. Derek Smith gets checked in the corner. Philadelphia, Zessel trying to get something going. Feeds the blue line. Crossman with a shot that went wide of the net. Mikko Makela over on right wing. Starts out for the Islanders. Makela across the Flyer line. Gave it to John Chinelli. Couldn't get the stick on it. And Zessel banks it into the center ice area and on down into the Islanders zone. And that's going to be called for icing. 9 minutes and 35 seconds remaining. Mentioned earlier that 7 Islanders were amongst the top vote getters. John Chinelli was the 5th highest amongst left wingers with 55,890 votes. Michel Goulet of Quebec beat out Brian Propp.
Take a look. Everybody yelling about the icing. It went off the Philadelphia player. Everybody thought it went off an Islander player, but it hit Brad Marsh, deflected down the ice. Now, if all of the fans here could see that, they wouldn't have been booing and hissing and screaming about an icing that they thought went off one of their own players.
See Kortko squaring on the face-off against Knockbauer. Flyers come up with the puck on their own end of the ice. Howe has cleared it out to center ice. Knockbauer couldn't pick it up again. Boudelier had it knocked away from him by Brown, and Smith comes sliding out to grab it and hold on. We'll just go back to the All-Stars for a moment. Tim Kerr beat out Mike Bossy for the right wing position. Kerr with 168,154 votes to Bossy's 143,772. Patrick Flatley had the 8th highest number of votes amongst right wingers in this Wales conference. At center ice, Mario Lemieux is everybody's favorite there. Brian Trottier had the 4th highest total, and Brent Sutter the 6th highest. On defense, Mark Howe of the Flyers had the 3rd highest number of votes behind Ray Bourque and Rod Langway. Denny Potvin had the 6th highest total. And Brad McCrimmon and Brad Marsh were 9th and 10th, respectively, in voting for defensemen. Oh, what a stop by Smith right there from the faceoff. Bill Smith, by the way, had the 6th highest number of votes registered by any of the goaltenders in the Wales Conference. So 7 Islanders and 6 Flyers amongst the top vote getters, and that total of 6 includes the late Pelle Lindbergh. 1-1 tie, 9 minutes to play in the second period, and the Flyers, a long shot by Brown, grabbed and held by Bill Smith. Rip Sutter and Knockbauer with the sticks up a little bit. Nothing too serious going to develop there. There is a break in the action developing, however, and your score, the Islanders won. How about those Devils? Yes.
2-0 right now. Adams and Verbeek have scored. In the second period, they lead the Washington Capitals.
And that's at the Meadowlands tonight. Here, a 1-1 tie between the Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers. LaFontaine ran headfirst into McCrimmon's check as he tried to get out of the Islanders' zone. So Howe back on the Flyer defense. Forced to turn as Dwayne Sutter comes in. Howe has given it to McCrimmon. Back to Howe. And to Tocchet. Shot it into the Islander territory. This is Potvin coming back. Denny Potvin spotted Dwayne Sutter. Gave him the puck. Across to Pat LaFontaine. Comes down the left wing into the Flyer zone. LaFontaine trying to go in around McCrimmon. Puts on the brake. Centers it, but right between his defense mates. So the Islanders will regroup deep in their own zone. Tomorrow night at 8, we're back with you here on Sports Channel from the Forum in Montreal. The Islanders' only visit to Montreal this season. The Canadiens playing tonight. Now the Flyers move in with a backhander that went wide. Fontaine knocks the puck away from Crossman, but Marsh laid it at the Flyer line and comes to center ice, shoots it on in. Dwayne Sutter leaned into Marsh. Fifth missed the puck, lost his stick. Gets help from LaFontaine as he clears it to the line, but not out. Crossman with a drive that changed direction. Smith still without the stick, and Potvin bails him out by icing the puck. But there is no whistle as the goaltender, Froese, came out to give it to Brad Marsh. gave Smith a chance to recover the lumber. Now the Flyers have iced it. Referee or linesman Kevin Collins, with his arm in the air for a long time, gets a little protest, very mild protest, from number 12, Tim Kerr.
Early in the second period, the game had a different tempo, had a different look. Both teams started to open up a little on the skating, but now it's back to the close checking that we saw in the first period. Although Philadelphia in the last couple of shifts have had some opportunities. Bill Smith making a save once off a face-off to his left, and a couple more from about 25 feet. Philadelphia getting some shots at Bill Smith.
Score tied 1-1. You know, the Islanders are in the longest streak of games that they have played this season without an overtime. They've gone 6 games with no OT. Thomas Johnson with the puck. Lets one go, and that hit Bossy, I believe, in front of the net. He was parked in front of Froze. The puck comes out to center ice.
Brad Marsh all over Mike Bossy. Now Bossy's got him out of position.
Rache with a shot. Hit the goal post. They got behind Froze, hit the post, and Gilbert is spilled, and Crossman is going to go to the penalty box. There's a break in the action at the Spectrum with the score. They see
a lot of attention in the Flyers' end of the ice. Crossman gets a penalty, and Brian Trache, with Brad Marsh crossing over in front of his defense mate. Brian Trache rung one off the goal post to the right of Froze.
First power play of this period for the Islanders, their 4th opportunity on the night. Back in the first period, Denny Potvin got his 11th goal of the season with the power play, and he just fell as he tried to come in from the Flyer line, and up comes Philadelphia. 2-on-1. Pullen moving in on Johnson. Shoots. He scores! A short-handed goal.
Things went wrong right from the face-off in Philadelphia's end of the ice for the Islanders. Dennis Potvin messed up on his original attempt to take a shot at the net. Here's Potvin as he moves in. He went to shoot it, lost his balance, fell down. Gilbert is checked, and away race the Philadelphia Flyers. They have a 2-on-1 break, and Poulin, using his teammate as a decoy, beats Bill Smith from about 25 feet on the short side. Here's Poulin as he moves in, rips it right along the ice into the short side with Thomas Johnson, the only Islander back. It's now 2-1 for Philadelphia on a shorthanded goal.
To get the assist for you. Poulin's 18th goal of the season, however, has given Philadelphia a 2-1 lead. Greg Gilbert gets checked by Poulin, back in the Flyer end, and they've cleared the puck. Johnson chasing it. Smith is out of the net. Thomas Johnson pulls it away from Propp, gave it to Mike Bossy, then to John Tonelli. Tonelli across the Philadelphia line, bothered from behind by Zezel, slipped it to Bossy, and it stayed wide, coming off the mesh outside the goal. Here's Tonelli trying to set up Bossy, but Propp was there. Gave it to Howe, to the right side to Brad McCrimmon. McCrimmon's drop pass to Zezel. A minute to go in the Islander power play. Zezel tied up, gets loose, but without a stick. Tried to soccer style it into the corner, and then is all over top of Denny Potvin. And Sutter back to help out, takes the puck. 45 seconds to go in this man advantage. Brent Sutter into the center ice area, played it to the right side. Thomas Johnson with it now. He's also wearing the face shield across to Potvin. Dumps it into the Philadelphia zone, and Zezel slaps it around the boards and hit Bossy, who picks it up. Mike Bossy out to Brent Sutter. Back to Johnson, over to Boudelier. Faked the shot, moves in a little deeper, made the play in front. Brent Sutter is too well covered. Boudelier with it again. Trying to find somebody open, sets up Bossy at the blue line. He fakes the shot, gives the puck to Boudelier. Back to Bossy. Bossy fires one off the stick and up into the seats. It hit Tonelli, I believe, and that'll bring the face-off outside the blue line.
A couple of good opportunities to shoot the puck for the Islanders, but they made passes instead. Brent Sutter had one chance, and I think John Tonelli the other, as they opted to feed it off with Crossman in the penalty box with 8 seconds remaining on his holding penalty. The Islanders had good shooting opportunities, but they made passes instead of shooting it.
Poulin from Howe is the official story on the Philadelphia goal, coming at 13:02. Kerr was just over to talk to Crossman, relaying some information from the Flyer bench. 5 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in the second period. LaFontaine at center ice between Dwayne Sutter and Mark Hamway. Boudelier picks up the puck at the Islander line, gave it to Persson. Back to Paul Boudelier. Aims at 6 aside again. Boudelier sends Dwayne Sutter in on left wing. Sutter turns, centered one that's knocked away by Marsh. Picked up by Tim Kerr, but they're calling it a hand pass with 5 minutes to play. Break in the action. The score now. Philadelphia 2, the Islanders.
Brad Marsh, a hand pass. That's what stopped the play, sending us to commercial. 8-3, the Oilers now lead the Quebec Nordiques in the second period. Whalers. Hartford leading, yes, 8-3, the Whalers over the Nordiques.
Here's Hamway trying to get LaFontaine loose in the Flyer zone. At LaFontaine, unable to get it to Boudelier at the blue line, and out comes Tocchet. Rick Tocchet into the Islander territory. Dumps it around the boards. Picked it up in front of the net, went to center one that was deflected, and Persson sends Hamway up the right wing. Now Dwayne Sutter into the Flyer zone, a pass to LaFontaine. Lost it on the boards, and McCrimmon clears it to center. Breaking down the left side for Philadelphia is Derek Smith. He was checked by Boyd. Tocchet follows through. It's Tocchet had it knocked off his stick by Bill Smith. Hamway and Derek Smith bumping. The puck goes loose back of the net. There's Kerr trying to put it out in front. Smith went down to make the save, and Hamway feeds it ahead, but not in time for LaFontaine. Tocchet looks for Kerr in front. Got the puck out there, but it went bouncing off Janssen right to Dwayne Sutter, who has cleared it. It goes over the boards, and now play is being called as it came back out on the ice from the Islander bench. 17,211, a capacity crowd looking on here at the Spectrum.
Montreal and Buffalo are deadlocked at 2 apiece in the second period. Robinson, Bobby Smith for Montreal. Tucker and Orlando have scored for Buffalo. And as we had mentioned, the New Jersey Devils lead Washington 2-0. That's the second period score. And I looked across and saw the score posted here at the Spectrum. 8-3 in the second period, the Whalers over the Nordiques.
Danny Potvin trying to clear the puck out of his own end. It was held in by Crossman, Mark Gillies, Roger Kortko, and Patrick Flatley, the Islander forwards. Here is Rich Sutter backhanding it into the New York Islander zone. Dineen goes back for it. He and Knockbauer get tied up on the boards. Kortko arrives, and the puck is frozen for a face-off. Now the Islander Booster Club Dinner Dance will be held on February 19th at the Crest Hollow Country Club from 8 until 1 a.m. Several former New York Islanders are going to be on hand this year. The cost is $45 per person. It's always a great time, dinner and dancing in the company of your Islanders. You may purchase tickets at gate 6 or 16 during any of the Islanders' remaining home games or by mail. The New York Islander Booster Club address is Post Office Box 20, Carl Place, New York, 11514. Cost is $45 per person. Your best bib and tucker for the annual dinner dance, February 19th.
Black tie.
Oh, well, now, maybe not that highfalutin, but
no. That's a wonderful affair.
Rache just won the faceoff from Knockbauer, and the puck ends up back of the net. Danny Potvin up the left side to Kortko. Comes loose. Trache picks it up at center. 2 Flyers get back. Trache comes over the line with Flatley. Ryan Trache chased back of the net by the check thrown from Brad Marsh. The Flyers come up with the puck. Dave Brown unable to clear it out across the line. Now Rich Sealing backhands it to center. Dineen stepped in front of Brown. Here's Flatley sending Gillies over the Flyer line. Gillies played it to the left wing. There was nobody there in a blue uniform. So the Flyers unable to clear it out. Here's Kortko to Flatley. Patrick Flatley takes a look. Dumps it into the far corner. Gillies there to pick it up. Put it right through in front of the net. Ends up on the left wing boards. Boudelier gets checked from behind, and Flatley with it at center. Lost it, then pulled his man down, and there'll be a penalty. Patrick Flatley goes to the penalty box for hooking on Don Knockbauer.
Pulling Knockbauer down from behind in the center ice area. Flatley, who has been used sparingly in the hockey game, takes a penalty, a hooking penalty, as Knockbauer was not a threat at the time. 2 Islander defensemen back, and again another penalty in an area that was not crucial. A hooking penalty. Philadelphia have scored the go-ahead goal with a shorthanded goal. Poulin, his 18th goal of the season. The only goal of the second period. So the power play of Philadelphia, 64 goals they've scored. They lead the league in goals on the power play. They're ranked 3rd.
moved up a couple of percentage points in the last few games, up to 15th overall in the league standings. Power play better than 20% now for the first time this season. Here's the Philadelphia power play one more time. Crossman to the left side. Ryan Propp went rink wide with the pass to Eklund, who's dumped it in around the boards. Pearson and Boudelier on defense. Brent Sutter is up front with Tonelli. Sutter trying to get it away from Eklund. It's held in by Tim Kerr. Kerr put it out in front. Missed all of his teammates, and it comes out across the Islander blue line. Ryan Propp back quickly, chased by Tonelli. Propp plays it up the left wing, and Brent Sutter stepped in front of his check. Tonelli runs into Kerr. Sinisalo gets loose in the Islander zone. Ilka Sinisalo waits at the top of the circle, dropped it back. Doug Crossman, the Propp, across to Sinisalo. Into the corner, this is Eklund to Sinisalo. Sinisalo feeds the blue line. Doug Crossman held it, gave it to Sinisalo. Shot one, deflected off the skate and into the net.
Tough break for the Islanders, a big one for the Philadelphia Flyers. It appeared to be a harmless shot at first. The Islanders playing good positional hockey. There's the shot from the point. It deflects off the Islander defenseman. It looked like Paul Boudelier's skate getting in behind Billy Smith. A 3-1 lead, a power play goal. There's the pass across. Here's the shot. Sinisalo let it fly. It hit Paul Boudelier on the left skate. Billy Smith coming across. Couldn't get to the puck as it deflected off his defenseman's left skate into the net. A power play goal and a 3-1 lead for the Philadelphia Flyers.
Islanders really questioning referee Brian Lewis. Something that they spotted, but it did deflect off the skate of Boudelier. 18-11, Sinisalo gets the goal. So 2 power play goals and a short-handed goal for Philadelphia, and they have a 3-1 lead. That's Sinisalo's 20th of the season. Was tied 1-1 coming to the second period. Now Bossy brings the Islanders into the Philadelphia zone. Centered one in front. It was knocked away by Greg Gilbert. To Trottier. Trottier trying to get around Poulin. It's knocked loose, and Potvin pinching in has deflected it over the boards and on into the seats.
Minute and 28 seconds remaining in the second period. Something the Islanders did not want to have happen. Go down by 2 goals against Philadelphia. They'll take that unless something happens in the next minute and a half. Take that back into the dressing room with them and try and figure out how they can score 3 goals in the third period, or at least 2 to tie it, to get back into the hockey game and keep Philadelphia off the score sheet. Coming into a game like this, looking at the power play statistic, bad penalties are not going to do you any good against a power play that has scored as many goals as Philadelphia's has.
Now Potvin out at center ice, gives it to Deneen, shot it in around Howe, and there's Froese with it behind the net. Picked up by McCrimmon, he did clear it out. Deneen couldn't knock it down. The Islanders have it again at center ice. Greg Gilbert over to Mike Bossy. Bossy trying to set up Gilbert. Cecil stepped in front of him, and here's Sinisalo with it. Just dumps it down into the Islanders zone, but off Gilbert's stick. Chasing it is Deneen. Or Deneen to the right side to Trottier. The pass to Deneen comes over center ice, fed Bossy on right wing. It was just out of his reach. Rose trying to clear it away from Bossy. We have less than a minute to play in the second period. Boudelier with it at the left point, but it came out over the line. Now he argues with Ryan Bozak. It was not offside, but we'll get nowhere with the official on that complaint. The Islanders played here in their only other visit this year. They led the Flyers 3-0, led them 4-1 in the second period. Then the Flyers scored 4 unanswered goals to win the game. They actually won it at 3:52 of overtime on Murray Craven's goal, that weird bounce. That night it was Darren Jensen against Bill Smith, the goaltending matchup, and then they met at the Nassau Coliseum on the following Tuesday. Philadelphia took a 1-0 lead, and the Islanders came back with 5 straight goals, and that one won it by an 8-6 score and ended the Philadelphia winning streak at 13. Here is Kerr in the Islanders zone, centered one that deflected off Boudelier and ends up behind the net. Lindsey Carson with it. Carson dropped it in deeper and hit the referee, and now Pearson clears it up to Mark Hamway. Hamway knocked off balance. Wayne Sutter takes control of it. His pass hit Kerr. Bounces to Pat LaFontaine. Up the right side to Hamway. Ends up in the Philadelphia zone. Marsh is there to clear it. At center ice, Kerr gets checked. Recovers the puck. Comes down the left side. Wayne Sutter bumps him off the puck. 8 seconds left. Sutter back of his own goal. pass, and he recovers in time, and now it's cleared it to center, and that's going to do it for the second period. But the Flyers score twice, one shorthanded, once on the power play, and they have taken a 3-1 lead over the Islanders. As you see, Bill Smith lead his team toward the dressing room area. Bob Froese at the other end of the ice. The Islanders continue to outshoot Philadelphia, but not able to outscore them. And your score now after 40 minutes is the Flyers 3, the Islanders 1. We'll have a recap after we pause for these. The Flyers have taken a 3-1 lead over the New York Islanders. Shots on goal in the second period by Philadelphia 7, by the Islanders 6. There are your two-period totals. The Islanders with 17 shots, the Flyers with 15. A 1-1 tie turned into a 2-1 Philadelphia lead when Poulin scored his 18th goal of the season. That's a shorthanded goal. Howe assisting at 13:02. The power play was set up when Crossman went off for holding, but the Islanders give up the shorthanded goal. Then Patrick Flatley's hooking penalty sets up a Philadelphia power play goal. Sinisalo gets his 20th of the season from Crossman and Eklund. That comes at 18:11, and Philadelphia on top by a score of 3-1. A note just handed to us: the Flyers have scored 9 goals in their last 3 games now, 6 power play goals and 3 shorthanded goals. Nothing at regular strength.
Well, as I had mentioned during the second period, you can't take foolish penalties against a good power play. The Islanders for years had one of the outstanding power plays, and that's the best way to hurt the other team, and the Islanders did it time and again. They set records that have since been broken on the power play, but that's what Philadelphia has been doing to other teams, and the Islanders have to recognize the fact that you can't take hooking penalties and you can't take interference penalties and holding penalties against a team that will kill you on the power play. As it turns out, it was a shorthanded goal that did it, but you could see from that shorthanded goal on that Philadelphia was picking up the tempo. The Islanders were threatening up until then.
Outside of a couple of breaks, so a very tight checking period, but the Flyers with a 2-goal lead. It's 3-1 after 2 periods. We'll return right after these messages. Is joined by the Islanders Director of Hockey Administration, Darcy Rogier. Let's take a look at how the Islanders utilize one form of the electronic media to analyze their opponent.
The man spends hour after hour right here in front of the television monitors probing the enemy weaknesses. His name is Darcy Rogier. He's the Islanders' Director of Hockey Administration. I'm Stan Fischler, and I talked to Darcy about his fascinating job. Darcy, 30 years ago, before you were born, actually, there was no such thing as videotape replays of hockey games. In fact, teams were in the ice age in terms of charting the opposition. And now, how many games do you watch in a week?
Well, I think we have the capabilities of watching 70 games a month. Divide that by 4, and that's how many games we could watch in a week. We don't, of course.
Now, in preparation for a particular game, let's say the Islanders are playing the Flyers, what kind of videotape research would you do?
We would start by, first of all, collecting as many Flyer games in advance. So we might have a collection of 4 tapes in advance of the Philadelphia Flyers, and from there we would take and break them down into segments, usually put them on one tape: the Flyers penalty killing, the Flyers power play, and then anything else that Al might need out of those tapes.
Now, in your position in the high command, would you write out a report to him? Would you put it in black and white, or just verbalize it directly?
Well, to give you an example, last week when we played, when I went to Philadelphia on the 14th, we taped some games as well of Philadelphia. I file a report with Al telling him what I see in Philadelphia, and then also he has access to the tapes.
Let's get it specific. The Islanders played Edmonton at home recently. Wayne Gretzky came to town. He scored 1 goal. The game ended in a tie. What kind of advance report did you have on stopping Gretzky?
Well, I think the first thing that I'm just trying to think of a couple of things I put in the report. First of all, you don't want Gretzky getting the blue line, controlling the puck, because once he does, he likes to circle, and he catches the late guy coming wide. They send somebody through the slot to back the defense off, and then what he does is moves the puck across to the wide guy, usually Curry, and you can't allow him to do that because he's just too good of a passer.
Now, getting back to the primitive years of scouting the opposition, Al Arbour, Islanders coach, was actually one of the pioneers. What kind of work did he, what kind of material did he have at the beginning?
Well, he started off with the Sony videotapes, and this one here, it looks a tape similar to this right here, and he's keeping these as a keepsake, and he's going to have them put on different tapes. But this one here is of the Islanders in St. Louis, and it's dated second month, 22nd day, 1977. So that's, you know, VCRs weren't even around at that time. And that's how it all started, and then I've been told that Al went out on his own and bought a VCR out of his own money and started taping games. Actually, Mrs. Arbor apparently taped games at home, and then Al would come back after a game and view that tape.
Now, in your function, working with the High Command, how often do you go on the road to scout?
I don't do a lot of travel on the road, and part of it is because of the reason we have the VCRs here. We have it's a great television market here for hockey games because we can pick up Boston games, we can pick up the Rangers, some Devils games, our own games. So I'm in a good location, but I might go out into areas such as Philadelphia or to Washington, depending on, you know, the importance of the game to a degree anyway.
Now, in the gathering of intelligence, let's say the Islanders have a game coming up with a team in the West, like Calgary. Would you have somebody transmitting information from there?
Yeah, we do. We've got people, for instance, Earl Ingerfield lives in Lethbridge, Alberta, so if we didn't have enough tapes, or if there's something even more specific than an angle of the camera is going to take in for us, Earl Ingerfield would go and watch that game and file a report, and then we'd also have the tapes as a backup that Al would be able to use.
Now, at what point do you go into that secret room of yours and begin looking, and when do you get out of it?
Well, I'll set up basically what I do. Peter Torrey does most of the taping. Like, for instance, tonight he will tape the game, and then after the game he'll break down a tape for Al of everything that happened tonight. But then for upcoming games that we play, for instance, Boston or wherever we're going, then I will break down a tape and give Al a tape on their power play, their penalty killing, and anything else he needs.
He's the unsung hero of the Islanders' High Command, Darcy Regier. Now back to Jiggs and Eddie.
We're back at the Spectrum in Philadelphia with your score. The Flyers 3, the New York Islanders 1. Flyers outshot the Islanders by a margin of 7-6 in the second period. We're awaiting the return of the two teams. Your score 3-1 Philadelphia, and we'll be back.
The Flyers lead the Islanders 3-1. Sports Channel goes the distance to bring you exciting boxing ringside from the Atlantis in Atlantic City and the Houston Sheridan. Plus, you get hard-hitting Kronk boxing from Detroit. Check local listings for dates and times in your area. Boxing on Sports Channel. What a knockout. Well, let's take an update or look for an update or get one here for Sports Channel's out-of-town scoreboard. In Hartford, the Hartford Whalers in the second period lead Quebec 8-4. In the third period, it's a 3-3 tie, Montreal and Buffalo, and the New Jersey Devils maintained a 2-1 lead into the second period over the Washington Capitals. Chicago and Winnipeg, Los Angeles at Vancouver start later on. We'll be back here in Philadelphia right after this. He's here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. 3-1 Philadelphia lead the Islanders. Some pretty good action in the second period. Both teams having some opportunities. Rose, who was outstanding in the first period, not called upon in the second period to be as sharp. Billy Smith had some moments, but let's go and take a look now at the go-ahead goal. Dennis Potvin comes in from the point position. The Islanders are on a power play. Either he changed his mind or just tripped up on his feet. There, Howe knocks the puck away from Greg Gilbert, and out come the Philadelphia Flyers. This shot into the lower right-hand corner by Poulin made the score 2-1, a shorthanded goal. Howe assisting at 13:02. And of course, later on a play by Sinisalo that went off Paul Boudelier's left skate, Philadelphia took a 3-1 lead.
And the Flyers have dumped the puck into the Islanders' zone to open up the third period. Thomas Johnson going back for it. The teams are at 6 aside. Philadelphia up 3-1, and Trache takes over on the far wing, giving it to Randy Boyd. Trache, Bossy, and Gilbert the forwards. Boyd and Johnson on defense. This is Bossy with the puck and backhanding it into the center ice zone. But McCrimmon shot it right at Greg Gilbert, who dumps it into the Flyer territory. Rose throws it up back in the net. Howe gets in after it. Plays it behind the net down to McCrimmon. Up to Tim Kerr. Out to center ice for Carson. Janssen knocked it away from him and has given it to Greg Gilbert. And off his stick to Randy Boyd. Boyd sends Trottier over the line on right wing. Ryan Trottier backhanding one in front. That's broken up. Cleared by McCrimmon. To Carson, on to Kerr. Tim Kerr over the Islander line, but Carson was ahead of the play on the left wing, and that was offside.
Give an update here. The Capitals-Devils game is now tied at 2 apiece in the third period. And Whalers still lead the Nordiques 8-3 in the second. Canadians and Sabres still tied at 3 apiece in the third.
Philadelphia being outshot here 17-15. Of the 15 Flyer shots, 4 have come from the stick of Brian Propp. Hurd had 2 shots in the first period, none in the second. Kenny Potvin backhanding the puck out of his own zone for the Islanders. Crossman with it at center, gives it to Brad Marsh. Off the boards to Derek Smith, and he dumps it in. Potvin turns and chases it. In comes Kerr. Potvin from back of the net, knocked off balance. Sinisalo takes the puck, comes out in front, got checked. Smith makes a good pad save. I don't think he saw the shot coming from Kerr, but had the pad out to block it, and here's Makela working on Marsh. Mikko Makela fires one off the Philadelphia defenseman. In after it is Brent Sutter, got checked behind the net. Crossman takes a hit from Makela, and the puck goes to Sinisalo. Played it right out in front, but to Derek Smith. To Kerr. Kerr into the Islanders zone. It was knocked off his stick. He recovers, cuts to right wing, and then is met by Potvin. Puck comes out in front, cleared by John Tonelli. Marsh holds it in at the left point. Now it comes loose and is recovered at center ice by Doug Crossman. Crossman, waiting for his teammates to complete some player changes, has forced the Islanders to chase it into their own end. This is Gord Dineen to Mark Hamway. To Dwayne Sutter. It went off his stick to Propp. Brian Propp chased to the right wing boards by Dineen. LaFontaine there as well. In comes Howe to knock it to Tocchet. Tocchet centers out in front. Eklund with a shot. That missed the net. Comes bouncing out in front again, and Dwayne Sutter is there to clear it to Dineen. Up the right wing to Mark Hamway. Hamway trying to get in around Howe. Does. Cuts in on goal. Shoots. He scores! Mark Hamway, who had gone 21 games without a goal, gets the Islanders on the board here to open up the third period.
Mark Hamway comes up big for the New York Islanders. Here's the play that broke them away. Watch Howe here. Unlike Howe, a good defenseman, lets Hamway sneak by on the boards. Good move by Hamway as he comes in, finds an opening, and puts it in the short side for a goal for the Islanders. They're now within 1. Here's Hamway. Put it right under the catching mitt of Bob Froese. Look at Froese. He's mad at himself for allowing Mark Hamway the room to put the puck in. And the Islanders come up with a big goal early in the third period.
Now they're in forechecking in the Flyer zone, and Hamway with the puck. It was blocked by McCrimmon. Hamway picks it up again. Mark Hamway works his way out of the corner. Turns, trying to get around Eklund. Lost his balance, and Eklund picks up the puck. He left it on the boards. McCrimmon there to help out. Has given it to Brian Propp. Propp, a long pass. Eklund on the right wing. Had it in his skates. Lost it to LaFontaine. He's over the Flyer line. Got checked. Reaches for the puck again, and it was knocked away from him. Eklund is there to clear it into center ice for Tocchet. Flatley stepped into him, and Janssen picks it up at the Islander blue line. Comes over center ice. On into the Flyer zone with a shot. Just missed a low drive. There's Flatley dumping one wide of the net. McCrimmon and Kortko go to the corner. Gillies is there trying to knock it away from Brown, but couldn't do it. Dave Brown dumps it into center. Rich Sutter forces the Islanders back into their own end of the ice. Bill Smith out of the net to clear it. Rich Sutter trying to hold it on the boards. Dumps it into a pile of skates in the corner, and Boyd takes control there. A little shoving going on. Rich Sutter and Thomas Janssen. Nothing too serious develops. A break in the action with your score now. The Flyers 3.
Mark Hamway with his 4th goal of the season makes it 3-2. That's Tim Kerr of Philadelphia.
Watching him on television here tonight, one of the newscasts, very humble about having beaten out Mike Bossy, the top right wing position in the Wales Conference All-Star voting. Bossy with the puck in the Flyer zone to Trottier. Brian Trottier's shot sailed over the crossbar. Bossy goes into the far corner to pick it up, put it out in front. But it comes off the boards and is recovered at center ice by Janssen. Up to Bossy, steps over the flyer line on his off wing, cuts inside, fires one, kicked out by Froze. Trache dumps one in front. Bossy picks it up now, turns, shoots, and that hit Poland. Bossy with it again to Trache back in the net. Poland is down on the ice, slow to get up. And the referee has called the play as Dave Poland, who scored a big goal, a shorthanded goal in the second period, has been hurt, blocking that shot from Mike Bossy.
Bossy turned, and Poulin went down in front to make the stop. He did. Puck hit him on the inside of the leg somewhere, obviously where there isn't too much protection. He's being attended to now. We'll step out here with the Islanders moving within one goal. It's 3-2 in favor of Philadelphia. Poulin, as he works his way toward the bench. The shot by Bossy hit the inside of his right ankle. He was off balance, but he knew he wanted to try and get in front of the shot. He was somewhat committed as Bossy turned and blindly drilled it. Poulin was down directly in front of the shot, and it caught him on the inside of the right leg. He's now being helped to the Flyers dressing room. Big loss for Philadelphia. 15:53 remaining here in the third period. The only goal so far of the third period, Mark Hamway's fourth goal, a beautiful goal in the short side. Made it 3-2.
Hamway had not dressed for 4 straight games. In fact, hadn't dressed for 5 out of the last 6 games. Picks up his 4th goal of the season here tonight. At the margin to 3-2. Brent Sutter wins the faceoff in the Flyer end. In front to Tonelli. Shoots, and it was blocked as the defenseman stepped in front of him. Up comes Sinisalo. Moves into the Islanders' zone, puts on the brakes, and handed it right to John Tonelli. Tonelli's pass is picked off. Sinisalo takes a dive. No whistle. The puck loose. Cecil with it down. The Sinisalo, and Potvin knocks it away from him and has cleared it into center ice. Doug Crossman, who made the big stop off Tonelli a moment ago, picks it up for Philadelphia. He and Marsh together on defense. Marsh takes it in the right wing boards and dumps it out into center ice, but ahead of all of his teammates. Now Derek Smith comes up with it. Got it to Peter Cecil. Centers one into the skates of Potvin, who was there to clear it in time. Tonelli comes up left wing. The pass to Brent Sutter. He's over the line. Lets the shot go, and it ticked off the stick and wide. Came bouncing out in front. McCrimmon was there for it. McCrimmon. The Cecil just kicked it into center ice. Pearson steered it into the Flyers zone, but up comes Mark Howe. He gets checked on the boards. Makela back for the Islanders. Comes out in front of the net, cutting to left wing, trying to get away from Knockbauer. Makela is over center ice, checked from behind, and the puck goes off the glass. It's loose momentarily, and Knockbauer feeds it out to Prop. Into the Islanders zone. Couple of forwards head for the front of the net. Prop gets loose, cuts in, backhanded one off Pearson's stick right to Paul Boudelier, and Smith dives in and smothers the puck.
Philadelphia had a player wide open in front of the net, but they saw him, couldn't get the puck to him. On the backhand shot, it was Tocchet standing all alone in front of Bill Smith. Stefan Pearson, who had fallen down, recovered, got back in time to break up the pass from Prop, taking a scoring opportunity away from Philadelphia.
As you watch this game on Sports Channel tonight, you probably noticed that none of the Philadelphia Flyer players wear the face mask or shield. There are 2 other teams in the league with no players wearing the shield, Chicago and Detroit. This is Dwayne Sutter leading the rush into center ice. Pat LaFontaine, who does wear the shield, goes in after it, got checked. Mark Howe picks it up. It's knocked away from him, but recovered by Rick Tocchet. Out to Brian Prop, comes over center ice. Johnson checked him right at the Islander line. The puck loose, and LaFontaine gets it back into Boyd. Now to Mark Hamway on right wing. A long pass off the boards in the Flyer zone. Dwayne Sutter in after it. Had trouble with a bouncing puck, and McCrimmon is on top of him. He got away from the check. There's Hamway on the opposite side. Centers one. LaFontaine couldn't find it as it was deflected, and the Flyers have iced it. Randy Boyd will go back to pick it up, and Smith had to play it. So no whistle, and here's Kerr working off the right wing boards. Couldn't set up Tocchet with that long pass, and Hamway has cleared it for the Islanders. Crossman back for Philadelphia, gives it to Kerr, on to Derek Smith. Falling as he shot it into the Islanders zone. Patrick Flatley with it now. Flatley out with Portko and Gillies as the Islander forwards. Sinisalo drops it back into his own zone to Marsh. Banks it off the boards, and at center ice, it's recovered by Boyd. Randy Boyd unable to make the play. Peter Zezel winds up, shoots. That just missed the net as Deneen went down but couldn't block it. This is Clark Gillies leading the Islanders into the Flyer zone. Centered one wide. Flatley lets it go. That missed the target. Sinisalo recovers on right wing. Just cleared it to center ice. Right to Deneen. Shoots it back in, but offside. Kortko hadn't been able to clear the zone, and now a little scuffle at center, but Deneen and Zezel separate immediately. There's a break in the action. 13 minutes remaining in the third period. The play gets underway. McCrimmon and Howe controlling it for Philadelphia. That's McCrimmon over on the right side. Back to Mark Howe. Howe leads the rush. It's over center ice into the Islanders zone. Gave it to Carson. He shoots. Smith got enough of that off the catching glove. Kerr gets checked by Gilbert, and up comes Brian Trottier. He and Bossy move to the Flyer zone. It was knocked off Trottier's stick. Bossy with it. He's checked from behind. Falling, pulled it away from Carson, and has given it to Gilbert. Greg Gilbert gets tripped up by McCrimmon as he shot it into the Flyer zone. Now back in time to work it to Poulin. Up to Kerr. Tim Kerr steps over the line. Shot one. Smith made the stick save. Moving in was Knockbauer. He's knocked down. Tonelli picks it up at center ice. Comes up with Bossy. Tonelli is checked. The puck comes right back to him. John Tonelli to Stefan Persson. Moves in, and his shot blocked at the defense. Persson after it again. Tried to put it out in front, but the referee signaling a high stick making contact with the puck. And they'll bring the face-off outside the Philadelphia blue line.
Philadelphia, a lot of players that can shoot the puck. Tim Kerr, this is not his most dangerous place. There's the shot from outside the blue line. Bill Smith, somewhat screened by the body of Paul Boudelier, kicked it away easily. Kerr likes to get the puck on the net. I think he leads the National Hockey League with shots on goal. A couple of the Philadelphia Flyers in the top 4 or 5. I think Prop is up there with shots on goal. That shot off the stick of Tim Kerr. Tim Kerr does not have a great deal of effect when he's outside the blue line, even with the puck. His danger, of course, is he uses his size around the net, but he's also very crafty with the puck. He handles it very well from inside, much like Charlie Simmer of the Boston Bruins.
Brad Marsh back in the Flyer zone. He has cleared it up into the seats. So they'll face off in the circle to the left of Bob Froese. There are tickets available to see the Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers at the Nassau Coliseum next week. They'll be there on Tuesday night. And next Saturday, the Chicago Blackhawks are in for their second visit of the year. Order tickets by telephone. If you live in Nassau and Suffolk counties, you can call 888-9000. Or if you're in the New York City area, 212 area code, then dial 307-7171. Tickets may also be purchased at the Nassau Coliseum box office or your local Ticketmaster outlet. It's the Flyers on Tuesday, and the Blackhawks Saturday, January 25th. Robbie Burns Day. Folks will be saying, what's he talking about? Robbie Burns Day, the great Scottish poet. Celebrate his birthday every January 25th with the piping in of the haggis. Tonelli digs the puck back to Persson following the draw. Trying to set up Akela. Brent Sutter's shot off the heel of his stick, and McCrimmon is there to recover. McCrimmon dumps it to center ice. Persson back. Gave it to John Tonelli across to Brent Sutter. Pulled it away from Howe. Mark Howe fails to clear it out. Brent Sutter picks it up in deep, put it out in front. Tonelli was too well covered, and Sinisalo has cleared it for Philadelphia. The Islanders getting some opportunities in the Flyer zone just now. Boudelier back, laid it off the left wing boards. McCrimmon was there, gave it to Sinisalo. Ian Zezel into the Islanders zone. The puck goes loose. John Tonelli plays it around behind the goal for Thomas Janssen. Johnson up to John Tonelli. He's over the line on left wing. The pass to Mikko Makela. Shoots that one off Brad Marsh. And bouncing out in front. Tocchet is there. He plays it away from Tonelli. In comes Thomas Janssen. Spins away from a check. Then got really bottled up. And the Flyers have a 3-on-1 break. Derek Smith on the left side. Can't cut in as Persson made a great defensive play. Puck loose back of the goal. There's LaFontaine trying to get it up to John Tonelli. It's held in instead by Crossman to Knockbauer. Drops it in deeper. It comes out in front, but right to Makela. Mikko Makela to John Tonelli. Bounces one right in front of Froese. Brad Marsh will pick it up. 10.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Doug Crossman, a long pass to Prop, off his stick and down into the Islanders zone. Bill Smith steers to the side for Gordy Deneen. Right side to Hamway. Mark Hamway, and it's stolen by Tockett. Tockett coming in. The pass to Prop. Turns on the forehand now. Gets in deep and shot it wide. It comes bouncing off the glass. Pullen drops it to the blue line. Smith is knocked down in the goal mouth. Gets back to his feet. Yelling at the referee. Pullen, who had gone off earlier, centers it out in front. There's a shot that deflected wide off Prop, and now there'll be a penalty to the Islanders. Tockett goes down, and the Islanders will be shorthanded. Smith comes out to complain to the referee. The Philadelphia power play is coming up. A break in the action. 9:57 left in the third period.
Good opportunities. They squander them. One time, Tockett got in close to the net. Smith, I don't think he got hit by Tockett, but he may have taken a dive, trying to get a penalty for Tockett. Then Tockett crossed in front of the net. Watch Bill Smith here as he puts the stick. He lays it on to Tockett. Tockett takes a dive. Billy Smith gets caught in one of his old traps, gets a penalty for tripping.
The power play for Philadelphia sets up. There's Kerr backhanded and underneath Smith, and there's no further play.
Good stop by Billy Smith. Tim Kerr just redirected the play toward the net. Smith has it trapped under his pad, but no question, very dangerous. Here it is. Tim Kerr can't get a good handle on it, so he puts it right at the net. That hit the inside of the left pad of Bill Smith. Tried to deflect it in, but Smith got a hold of it and hung on.
It was Kerr who scored 2 power play goals the first time they met. The second time they met, it was the same story. But not tonight. The power play goals have come from Prop and Sinisalo. Smith gets roughed up in the goal crease, and now an interference penalty will send Sinisalo to the penalty box. Boudelier trying to tie up Sinisalo, and the Philadelphia forward goes off, nullifying the power play.
Boy, that's one way of letting the opposition off the hook. Taking a penalty on the power play. Ilka Sinisalo, who scored the go-ahead, the 3-1 goal, I should say. They went ahead by 2, and Sinisalo scored back in the second period. This time, an interference penalty in front of Bill Smith. He was trying to tie up Paul Boudelier. He gets caught, and the power play Philadelphia was on is nullified.
Philadelphia played 7 straight games here at home. You know, they have gone 91 games without a tie. That includes the playoffs. 91 consecutive games without a tie score. A game ending in a tie at least.
They've had 2 tie games this season, but they ended up winning both of them. They're 2-0-0 in overtime games.
Drops it back into the Flyers zone for Brad McCrimmon. Bossy comes in to forecheck. Brian Trottier is the other Islander forward coming into your picture now. Bossy backs out on the left side. McCrimmon's pass goes to Howe. Mark Howe had it intercepted by Boudelier, and Trottier is there. Gives it to Mike Bossy. Into the Flyers zone. Bossy having a little trouble. Picked it up and dumped it to the open wing. In comes Trottier. Back to the right point. Persson was there, but Pullen rather moved up in time. Dave Pullen checked by Persson. Pullen dishes it off in front. Prop was there now. Howe with a shot that's blocked by Persson. Sends Bossy out on the right side. McCrimmon the only man back. Bossy winds up, and McCrimmon came over to deflect the shot. Rose dumps it around the boards. There's Trottier. Back to Randy Boyd. In front to Bossy. Comes back to the blue line. Gives it to Thomas Johnson. Johnson with a drive. Blocked in front of the net. And Dave Pullen starts out for Philadelphia's pass. Hit Bossy. Ends up at the Flyers zone. Pullen kicks it back into McCrimmon. He just dumps it into the center ice area. Johnson with it for the Islanders. Over to Boyd. Shoots it in. Kerr and Brent Sutter go after it. Now Brad Marsh picks it up. 44 seconds left in the Flyer penalty. 24 seconds remaining in the Islander penalty. Bill Smith out of the net. Plays it around the boards for John Tonelli. Back to Thomas Johnson. Johnson takes a look. Plays it around behind the net. Randy Boyd had to come back for it. 10 seconds, and the Islanders will have a very brief power play. John Tonelli clearing the back of his own goal for Randy Boyd. The Flyers are leading 3-2. Now the Islanders have a man advantage as Thomas Johnson takes the puck, gave it to Boyd. Over the center ice stripe, Dwayne Sutter cuts to right wing, but somebody got ahead of the play, and that's offside at the Flyer line with only 10 seconds left in Sinisalo's penalty.
7 minutes and 50 seconds remain here in the third period. Philadelphia cannot sit on a one-goal lead. The Islanders have been picking up the tempo now in the last couple of shifts. Good opportunity a moment ago. Look at Poulin as he fights off a check from Stefan Pearson. His pass goes off the skates of Propp. There's a shot by Howe. He was searching for the top left-hand corner. Good defensive move by Stefan Pearson as you see him grab the puck and start out of his own end of the ice. Thomas Johnson a moment ago. Howe right here gets in front of his shot. Bang! Off the left ankle of Howe. He went off limping. Broke up the play, but Thomas Johnson got a chance from close in. Howe makes the save.
Brent Sutter got the face-off. Poffan's pass almost intercepted. Tocchet picks it up in the Islander zone. Trying to cut in. Did Smith down to make the save. Zezel had it, lost it, and Poffan sends Makela into center ice. Makela got tripped up. Brent Sutter with the puck. Shoots. He scores! Brent Sutter ties it, beating Froze from just inside the blue line.
Fine shot by Brent Sutter. The Islanders, who had been picking up the tempo on their side. Brent Sutter finds the puck in the center ice area after Philadelphia had a great opportunity. They couldn't convert it. Back come the Islanders quickly. Tripped up is Makela. And here a shot by Brent Sutter from about 45, 50 feet. Beats Bob Froze just inside the blue line into the lower right-hand corner. And the game is tied at 3 apiece. 7 minutes and 33 seconds remaining here in the third period.
Al Arbor sends Pat LaFontaine to center ice. Mark Hamway on the right wing. Wayne Sutter on the left. Al comes over center ice, controlling the puck with a pass to the left wing. Sinisalo with a shot. That just missed, but Smith came out to challenge him. Now a drive from McCrimmon, blocked and cleared by Potvin. Taking it out of the corner is Hamway. He scored a big goal for the Islanders here in the third period to get it to 3-2, and then Brent Sutter has tied it. Meantime, Eklund with the puck shoots it into the Islanders zone, and here's Gord Dineen clearing it across to Dwayne Sutter on left wing. Out to LaFontaine. He gets a break, comes in, is bumped from behind, and the puck stays wide. Hamway trying to feed it out of the corner. It was blocked and now cleared by Howe to Propp. Brian Propp missed Eklund with the pass at center. It's picked up by Dwayne Sutter. Put it right on Brian Propp's stick. Propp drops it back. Tocchet with a shot. Deflected high and wide. That ends up in the seats. It went off Boutilier's stick. We have 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third period. There is a break in the action with the score. A tight hockey game here. They're having anything but a tight hockey game over in Hartford tonight.
14 goals have been scored, and they're still in the third period. Hartford now lead the Quebec Nordique 10-4.
That game is being seen nationally in Canada tonight as part of the CTV Friday night package. And you're wondering what's going on. The Nordiques down 10-4 on the road. And Kelly's probably hoarse by now. The puck comes back to Boutilier in the Islander zone to Pearson out to center, and Andy Boyd knocked it away from him. Poland picks it up at center ice with 6 minutes left. Regulation time. This is Propp. Across to Kerr. Missed the pass. Bossy has it. Mike Bossy gets away from Brian Propp. Comes over center ice. Bossy into the Flyer zone, trying to come in around McCrimmon. Gets chased to the corner, then dumps the puck the opposite direction. Before checking if Trottier knocked it loose. Marsh is back. He shot it off the back of Brian Propp. Marsh picks it up again. Gilbert knocked it away from him. There's Propp with it. Handed it to Trottier. Out to the blue line for Janssen. Over to Boyd. Andy Boyd fires one. Stick save by Froze. And it's been cleared by Knockbauer. That's going to go the length of the ice. Coming back for it is Janssen, and we get an icing call against the Philadelphia Flyers.
Looking forward to some pretty good hockey. 5 minutes and 19 seconds. The Islanders down 3-1. Coming into the third period, Mark Hamway got things started with a shot into the short side on a 2-on-1 break with his 4th of the season at 2:20. And now Brent Sutter has scored his 9th at 12:27. The Islanders tie up the score.
Face-off will be to the right. You see Brent Sutter lining up. Mikko Makela is on the right side. John Tonelli is on the left. Danny Potvin and Gord Dineen, the other Islander forwards. Sutter and Knockbauer move in. Kevin Collins drops the puck. It comes back to Potvin. A shot blocked in front. And Howe hit by a stick, I believe. There will be an Islander penalty on the play. Potvin Potvin gets control of the puck, and referee Brian Lewis turns as Howe goes over to the Philadelphia bench. And an Islander is headed for the penalty box, I believe, John Tonelli. There's a break in the action with your score. The Philadelphia Flyers and the New York Islanders.
Makela draws a penalty for high sticking. It's accidental. He gets the stick into the face of Mark Howe. No question, he feels bad about it. Makela getting his second penalty of the hockey game as Howe went to reach for the puck. Makela, he was off balance, and as he reached back, his stick came right up into the face of Howe, striking him in the face. He gets a penalty. And the Islanders, in a way, get a break with 5 minutes and 8 seconds remaining here in the third period. Had he cut Mark Howe with his stick on the play, even though it would have been accidental, he could have gotten a 5-minute major penalty if he'd have drawn blood.
Rache just won the face-off in his own zone, and Kortko has fired it out into the center ice area. Yes, Makela, high sticking, 14:52, and the dreaded Flyer power play is in action, and they go in offside at the Islander blue line. Eklund in before the puck. 14 seconds gone, and the Islander penalty. The Canadiens have taken a 4-3 lead over Buffalo. The Canadiens playing on the road tonight. They'll be at home to the New York Islanders tomorrow evening, and we'll have it for you right here on SportsChannel beginning at 8 o'clock from the Forum in Montreal.
The go-ahead goal was by Guy Carbonneau. The Islanders win another face-off, gain control of the puck, and shoot it down the ice.
It'll be picked up by Crossman. Flatley comes into forecheck. He peels off, and Kortko moves in. Crossman gave it to Propp. Across to the right side. This is Eklund. Eklund drops it off to Sinisalo, and his shot goes up into the seats.
The Islanders doing well. They've done it well all night. Position in their own end of the ice. That shot deflected up into the seats. Eklund making the drop pass. Potvin getting in the way of the shot. One of the fans gets a souvenir.
Islanders held to only 6 shots on goal in the second period. That's their low this season. 3 times they'd had only 6 shots in the second period. Games against Winnipeg, St. Louis, and the Rangers prior to tonight.
Philadelphia have had only 6 shots. Very low number of shots. Not many shots at all in the hockey game.
Bill Smith freezing the puck on the side of the net. That chewed up a little more of the penalty time against Makela. Break for the Islanders.
Game at Winnipeg. Winnipeg has taken a 1-0 lead over Chicago in the first period. Allen has scored for the Winnipeg Jets.
Tim Kerr will take the face-off against Brent Sutter as you see Randy Boyd lining up on the left side of the Islander defense. Eklund goes down. The puck is underneath him. And finally called by referee Brian Lewis with 40 seconds remaining in Makela's penalty.
Good job Brent Sutter has been doing on the penalty. Twice he won the face-off. Both times the Islanders were able to get it down the ice. There's Brent Sutter as he gives it to John Tonelli. 2-on-1 threat. Crossman, the only player back. John Tonelli couldn't control it on his backhand as Bob Gross knocks the puck into the corner. The Islanders shorthanded have an opportunity to get a play at the net.
Trache will take the face-off against Kerr. Just a note on Brian Lewis, who's working his 1,001st NHL game tonight. They had a presentation for him in Montreal the other evening. He is the referee that broke a wrist at the Nassau Coliseum earlier this year. The Islanders come up 2-on-1. Kortko, his pass deflected. He tried to set up Trache in front of the net. It was blocked at the defense, and oh, so close. This is Kerr. He is checked at center. Trache sends Kortko down the right side. Trying to cut in around Crossman, and then 3 Flyers got back. This is Poulin. Dave Poulin into the Islanders zone. Checked by Persson. They swing one another around, and Potvin has cleared the puck, but not out over the line. McCrimmon centers one in front. Potvin blocked that, and Flatley shoots it down the ice. That's going to do it. Makela's penalty has expired as McCrimmon picks up the puck. Aims at 6 aside. Rick Tocchet runs into Randy Boyd. Following the play is Knockbauer, and Johnson steers him into the corner. Knockbauer down, pulls the puck into that pile-up, and the whistle sounds. Randy Boyd and Tocchet scuffle Scuffling a little. Derek Smith and Trache there as well. But the scene is this. 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in the third period. And the score tied 3-3 here at the Spectrum. Now the Capitals, we understand, have just taken a 3-2 lead over the Devils. Lou Franciscetti scoring in the third period.
Some of the corner work in this hockey game, there's been a lot of it. Bang, Tocchet takes a good hit from Randy Boyd. Tocchet came right back after him. Little intimidation with the gloves in the face of each other. You see a close-up look at Rick Tocchet.
Ryan Trache and Brent Sutter talk it over before the face-off. There is Randy Boyd. He's on the left side of the defense. On the right is Thomas Johnson. The Flyers got the draw. Howe fires one that just missed the net on the stick side. Mike Bossy dumps it out into the center ice zone. Moving up is Brent Sutter. McCrimmon came over to knock it away from him. Peter Zezel checked on the board. The puck comes loose and at center ice. The Flyers pick it up again. Derek Smith, a long shot wide of Bill Smith in the Islander goal. Thomas Johnson plays it to Brian Trache. Trache comes to center. 3 Flyers get back. Trache over the line. Played it to the left wing. Greg Gilbert goes after it. Got checked on the boards. Tocchet left it. Now McCrimmon picks it up outside on Ryan Lewis, who's working his 1,001st NHL game tonight. They had a presentation for him in Montreal the other evening. He is the referee that broke a wrist at the Nassau Coliseum earlier this year. The Islanders come up 2-on-1. Kortko, his pass deflected. He tried to set up Trache in front of the net. It was blocked at the defense and oh so close. This is Kerr. He is checked at center. Trache sends Kortko down the right side. Tried to cut in around Crossman, and then 3 Flyers got back. This is Poulin. Dave Poulin into the Islanders zone. Checked by Persson. They swing one another around, and Potvin has cleared the puck, but not out over the line. McCrimmon centers one in front. Potvin blocked that, and Flatley shoots it down the ice. That's going to do it. Makela's penalty has expired as McCrimmon picks up the puck. Aims at 6 aside. Rick Tocchet runs into Randy Boyd. Following the play is Knockbauer, and Johnson steers him into the corner. Knockbauer down, pulls the puck into that pile-up, and the whistle sounds. Randy Boyd and Tocchet scuffling a little. Derek Smith and Trache there as well, but the scene is this. 2 minutes and 55 seconds left in the third period, and the score tied 3-3 here at the Spectrum. We understand, have just taken a 3-2 lead over the Devils. Lou Franciscetti scoring in the third period.
Some of the corner work in this hockey game, there's been a lot of it. Bang, Tocchet takes a good hit from Randy Boyd. Tocchet came right back after him. Little intimidation with the gloves in the face of each other. You see a close-up look at Rick Tocchet.
Trache and Brent Sutter talk it over before the face-off. There is Randy Boyd. He's on the left side of the defense. On the right is Thomas Johnson. The Flyers got the draw. Howe fires one that just missed the net on the stick side. Mike Bossy dumps it out into the center ice zone. Moving up is Brent Sutter. McCrimmon came over to knock it away from him. Peter Zezel checked on the board. The puck comes loose, and at center ice, the Flyers pick it up again. Derek Smith, a long shot wide of Bill Smith in the Islander goal. Thomas Johnson plays it to Brian Trache. Trache comes to center. 3 Flyers get back. Trache over the line. Played it to the left wing. Greg Gilbert goes after it. Got checked on the boards. Tocchet left it. Now McCrimmon picks it up outside the blue line. Then it to Mark Howe. He's into the Islanders zone, but so was one of his teammates, and well ahead of Howe. So the offside call.
Unusual to see at this point in the hockey game, McCrimmon passing to Howe, the two of them racing up across the center ice line, and it was McCrimmon that was offside. The Islanders steal the puck there. Philadelphia have all 5 of their players inside the Islanders' blue line. That spells for trouble. Mike Keenan, you're looking at him now over his right shoulder. Wouldn't appreciate that kind of a play. I'm sure somebody will have spotted that and mention it later.
Bill Smith playing the puck in his own zone to Gordonine up the boards, but Marsh unable to hold it at the blue line, so Philadelphia hustles back. Brad Marsh gave it to Doug Crossman. Out to Dave Poulin at center ice. He's into the Islander zone with a hard shot just wide. He's off the boards. Prop gets turned around, and Hamway plays it to the blue line. Marsh knocked it down, cleared it around behind the Islander net. Chasing it is Kerr. Kerr checked by Potvin, and the puck comes outside the Islander blue line. Hoffman with it at center ice. Shoots it right back in. Denny Potvin gives chase. Potvin plays it to the right side for Hamway. Mark Hamway out of Detroit, Michigan. Comes out of his own zone with a pass to Dwayne Sutter off a stick and up into the seats. We now have 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining in the third period.
Suppose one of the unusual parts of the hockey game, if it does go to overtime, and it's not going to be 4-4. So many times the Islanders have gone to overtime this year. The score seems to always be 4-4.
6 times it ended at 4-4. The other ties, 3 of them, the game ended at 2-2. The last time here, Philadelphia beat the Islanders 5-4 in overtime. We're staring 90 seconds from now at an additional 5 minutes. That would be sudden death. But the Flyers get loose. Carson into the Islanders' zone. Boudelier chases him to the corner. Ties him up there. Carson kicks the puck. Zezel had it knocked away, and Mikko Makela got it to Tonelli, and he's cleared it to the line, but not out. Sinisalo drops it in deep. Zezel puts it out in front. Sinisalo shot. What a save by Bill Smith. The Sinisalo broke up the middle. Bill Smith goes down to make a super save.
Fine opportunity for the Philadelphia Flyers. Sinisalo, here's the play as it's dropped in. There's the pass out by Carson to Sinisalo, comes in unprotected. There's the shot. He got it up high where Bill Smith could handle it easily. Smith making the stop off Ilka Sinisalo. Excuse me, it was Zezel that passed the puck to Sinisalo. There's the shot as Smith up on the top of his goal crease makes the save. Sinisalo talking to himself, and you have to know what he's saying. He put the puck in an area where the goaltenders love to have it, waist high. What he wanted to do is put that thing down around the feet where there would at least be a rebound if Smith makes the save.
Now the Islanders move it out of their own zone. Bossy flips it into the Flyer territory. It does not go far enough for icing, and we have 58 seconds left in the third period. McCrimmon to Kerr. He's checked in his own zone by Greg Gilbert. Gilbert trying to get it to Bossy. It's knocked off his stick, however. Johnson with it at center ice. Lost it to Tim Kerr. He comes over the line on right wing. Shoots Smith the glove save. Juggled it and held on. Now 41 seconds remaining. You see the clock showing 40 seconds down in the bottom of your picture.
Another quick wrist shot from Tim Kerr. Far enough out that Bill Smith got a good look at it. Again, makes the save, but hangs on. Here's Kerr. He sets and shoots. Bill Smith sweeping across in front of his body with his left hand. Makes the save with Brian Propp bearing down on him.
Regular season played. Bill Smith's lifetime record against Philadelphia: 8 wins, 21 losses, 6 ties. Twice, however, he won by a shutout in regular season and carries a respectable 3.24 goals against average lifetime against the Flyers.
Over the years, the games with the Philadelphia Flyers haven't necessarily been high-scoring ones.
Yeah, you look at the total goals. The Islanders in 81 games have scored 273 goals. The Flyers 253. Scoring was even, 34, 34, and 13, coming to the 82nd meeting ever in regular season. Persson got knocked down, back of the net. Smith out to help. The puck steered just wide off pocket stick. Ian Persson, bump, bump, bump. Brett Sutter dumps the puck into center ice. 25 seconds remaining in the third period. This is Mark Howe. Banked it off one of his teammates, and Persson has cleared it. At center ice, Zezel sends Sinisalo over the line. Sinisalo shoots. Smith got the right skate in front of it, and Persson is there to give it to Bossy. Out to Greg Gilbert. Gilbert at center ice, trying to get around McCrimmon. Up comes Traches over the line with Bossy. Takes the pass in the skates and couldn't hold it. Now Bossy sets up Traches. Shoots. He scores! Both lights are on. The red light and the blue light, and the referee is giving a washout signal.
What a rotten break for the Islanders. Right at the bell, Brian Trache takes a pass from Mike Bossy, puts it in the net, and the game goes to overtime. Brian Lewis, with his hands out in a safe signal, says that it's no goal, but right now the linesmen are talking with the referee. Now, with no time left on the clock, a goal can't be scored. The linesman could change it. Now, if Philadelphia start to argue at all, you know that things are starting to go against them, and that's going to be the winning goal.
referee gave as Eddie said, the washout signal, no goal. And now you see the discussion that is going on. But the red light came on, then the blue light. Well,
watch, if the talk goes towards Dennis Potvin, which it is now, you know it's going against the Islanders. If they start to talk to the Philadelphia Flyers, you know it's going to be reversed. But let's take a look at the goal that was scored right at the buzzer. Now, did it go in before the buzzer went, or did it not? Let's take a look. There's the play, Brian Trottier to Bossy. Can't control it. It's in his feet. Bossy's going into the corner. Watch to the front of the net. Here's the pass. Left all alone is Trottier. There's the shot into the top of the net. The argument, of course, now is, was the game over? They're still discussing it. Kevin Collins, let's take a look now. We'll include the clock here. Kevin Collins, it almost looks like he wants the Islanders to get the goal. There's Bossy heading into the corner. 3 Philadelphia Flyers after him. And Brian Trottier turns. There's the shot going up. It's in the net. Now, we don't see any signal here. But
down in the right-hand corner of your picture, Eddie.
Down in the right-hand corner, yes. There's no question. There's 1 second appearing. Brian Trottier has his arms in the air. It was first waved off by the referee. Now, I would have to think that at this point, if it's going this long, now they're talking to Poulin for the Philadelphia Flyers. Now they're talking to him. I would have to say that it's going to go to the Islanders.
The referee is going to check with a supervisor of officials who is on hand here tonight, I have to presume, or is he talking to our television people?
Let's show him our replay with 1 second still left in the corner.
Well, the debate goes on. In a college series of exhibition games, they use the television replay, and we understand to a great deal of advantage. Kevin Collins he appears to be saying, I was looking at the clock.
Yes, and he's supposed to be watching the clock at that point.
The Islanders have won it. The Islanders have won at 19:59 of the third period. Look at the celebration at the blue line.
They got their just due, that puck, as you could see with the 1 second showing down in the right-hand corner. I give a lot of credit to Kevin Collins. Now, we haven't talked about officials in this hockey game once, and I have to tell you why, is because they've been doing an outstanding job. Kevin Collins, the linesman, I would almost bet, is the one that persuaded the referee Lewis, to double check on it. He was watching the clock. It's a goal. The Islanders are already into the dressing room. It's not going to change now, I'm sure, but Kevin Collins, through that whole discussion, very calmly, very coolly, talked to referee Lewis. And you could see things start to change. Referee Lewis immediately waved no goal, and then, of course, there was a question. He talked to Dennis Potvin, the referee did, for quite some time. That means that he's trying to explain to him why he disallowed the goal. But then things started to change. By the time they got to the penalty box, you knew that things were changing then, because why did it take so long? The referee had to be changing his mind. That's a good thing for hockey, to see that happen. It's not automatic. Referees can change their mind, and this time they did. That's at home for Philadelphia, right here in the Spectrum. Referee Lewis changes his mind. Kevin Collins is now under the gun from the players of Philadelphia, so you know that he's the one that persuaded the referee that he saw a second still on the clock.
We're getting the announcement of the goal. It is Brian Trottier, quite naturally.
Mike Bossy, along with number 17, Greg Gilbert. Time, 19 minutes, 59 seconds.
Trottier from Bossy and Gilbert. The winning goal by Brian Trottier is 21st of the season at 19:59 of the third period. The discussion goes on between the officials and the few remaining Philadelphia Flyers. But the replay that you saw, as we saw here, showed 1 second left when the puck went in the net. The red light came on, then the green light, and if I understand the terminology of the way these buildings and the goal lights and game lights are to be wired, the red light cannot come on if indeed the 20 minutes has expired and the blue light should nullify it. They've thrown a chair out on the ice. Debris is being hurled here. Philadelphia has lost at home for only the 4th time this season. The Islanders get their first victory here since November 23rd of 1983, and the final score is the Islanders 4, the Flyers 3. We'll be back with a recap after they the New York Islanders 4, the Philadelphia Flyers 3. Shots on goal in the third period, the Flyers 9, the Islanders 7. The game totals are even there, 24 by each team. But the Islanders scored 3 unanswered goals in that third period. Mark Hamway getting his 4th of the year from Gord Dineen and Dwayne Sutter at the 2:20 mark, and it was 3-2. Then Brent Sutter scores for Mikko Makela at 12:27. Brent Sutter's 9th of the year. The game is tied at 3-3. Stayed that way, and at 19:59, Greg Gilbert got control of the puck. His pass through the skates of Bossy. He retrieved the puck in the corner, out in front to Brian Trottier, and officially the goal at 19:59. Brian Trottier, the game winner, is 21st of the season, and the Islanders have defeated the Flyers by a score of 4-3. And I think they're...